What is up, my ninjas? I'm Strydent, and I figured I would just give you a quick update. I've been busy. So, I'm wrapping up my current video. I hope that gives you a little bit of, understanding of what I'm working on. It's been a monster. Jesus Christ. It's taken forever. You guys know I caught COVID during the time I've been working on this thing. And So I was working on this around the same time. I started working on it around the time that I did the most fun, most unfun video for last year. So it's been a monster, but you'll like it. It's a long video, so please, when it comes out, make sure you guys sit down and watch the whole thing. I think you will enjoy it. There's a lot put into it. It's kind of streamlined in some parts, but it's fun because you're getting to see this stuff up close again. But anyway, a lot of stuff has been going on. My freaking older son turned 20 the end of last month. And the month before, my younger son turned 9. So, God, it's just time is flying, man. As far as figures go, I've picked up a lot of stuff. I finally found this homeboy right here with his ugly ass face. Mr. Stinko Man. Finally found him. Can you see him? Very cool figure. He was the last guy of what's been released that I had to get in order to essentially have everything that's been released. And I'm surprised because you know me, I cherry pick like a motherfucker. So it's been a long time since I was like wholesale going for everything that was released, you know? And I did. And then also a friend of mine, she came into some old figures, and she was like, yo, I know you'd know who some of these guys are. She's like, take a look, see if you like anything that's in here. I was like, thank you. And I found this. This is Brave Star. I haven't seen this shit in so long. He's missing his hat, so I've got to go look for that shit. Man, those hats go for so much money. The hat and the pistol, So I might just leave him hatless, and that's who he will be somewhere in like my oldie but goodie section of my man cave. But I'm geeked to have Brave Star because I remember when those figures were released, and I saw them in the store, and then I saw them up, at the register, because back in those days, certain toys would be hanging up at the register, when you check out. And my mom was like, nope, 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 nope. And I'm like, come on, nope, nope. I'm like, Mom, nope. I think I was really young too. This was like He-Man time, like back in those days when He-Man was on TV. So I was like, what, 6 or 7, something like that. But yeah, so it's been a long time, and I didn't really think about that character. I've always wanted to see a revival. I just don't think anybody's gonna do it anytime soon, and if they do, they're gonna drastically change shit, because he needs to be a serious, like, space opera style revamp, But it could be done. Maybe that'll be something I'll look into over, in the next few years, because I dug Brave Star, and space westerns are cool as fuck. But yeah, that's what's going on. I do have another video that I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to tell you what it's relating to, but you guys have been you've heard me talk about this stuff for a while. You've seen some of it. I'm revamping a lot of stuff, and then at the same time I'm planning on revisiting some things just to see if anything has changed over the years as far as our attitudes towards certain things and certain franchises and certain figures. So keep your eyes open for that. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a quick update on what's been going on. I haven't fallen off the face of the earth. I'm steady at work with stuff having to do with action figures, like my own action figures, and Invincible Toys. We're doing our thing, and that's going really well. When we get our big update, because it's getting closer and closer and closer to, as we get closer and closer and closer to the end of the year, we'll probably be dropping more updates. So as I get that info, I'll be sharing that with you guys. But yeah, that stuff's cool. There's stuff coming down the pipeline that's going really well right now. I'm pretty geeked because I was able to pre-order All Might, the Revoltech All Might, which I was so sad when I missed out on that pre-order, because I don't pre-order shit. And that was one of those things where I knew, because it's Japan doing Superman better than America does, in a current show. Because I mean, nothing tops Justice League Unlimited, and even Superman the animated series. He was perfect, But they're doing Superman, the spirit of Superman better than Superman in an ongoing manga, like on a regular basis. And then the figure is better than most of the Superman figures that are coming out. And then on top of that, they got a Superman figure coming out from the same people. So I wish it was the classic suit, but I know they're not trying to do the same things that, what are they called? Mafex is doing. So they did their own. They did the new 52 suits. So, it's cool. But I'm geeked to have All Might on the way. So when that comes, you better believe I'm going to review that. Things are quiet on the Joy Toy front, although there's a lot of Joy Toy mechs that have caught my attention. And there's a couple figures that have caught my attention. We still got about a month before those figures come out. So, when they do come out, you'll see them, because I'll have them. The ones that I picked. Again, I cherry picked. I'm not jumping on everything. Just certain ones fully appeal to me. But, yeah. I figured I would do that. And then before I go, I'm going to leave you guys with a little something else. Because, I mean, it's been a while since I did this too. Dudes who you play with toys, and I don't know, I don't like it because there's the majority, they feel like that's the way they present themselves, and then people get the wrong idea. Then you have TV shows like not the Toys That Made Us, but what's the other one where they go from like toy store to toy store showing off old toys and new toys and the most expensive toys and stuff like that.
Well, I will say this: there's a lot of, I follow pro wrestling. There's a lot of pro wrestlers that collect toys, and they'll post it on Instagram. And there's a lot more people, I think, collecting toys now more than ever. Especially even the people that are just not even in it for the actual joy of the collecting. Yeah. They're in it for investment, because I think there's a lot more toy collectors than ever
because of the pandemic. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you're even seeing like gamer girls, and now there's toy girls, and like it's becoming a thing.
But those are a lot.
Comic books were a thing like 10 years ago, like when it just started gaining momentum with Iron Man and all that.
Yeah.
When the cinematic universe started. It's starting that with toy collecting now, because toy collecting is, the prices are through the fucking roof. The demand is through the roof. Everything is fucking crazy right now.
But that's how I think. That's why I think it's not what it seems. It's more opportunity, as in like some of these cats are figuring out that they can make a killing from making a toy focused channel if they have businesses that work with them and sponsor them, so they can get a hold of rare, expensive figures and like parade them on their channel and look like they're real collectors. now they can get the audience.
There's the fakers. I mean, there's been the fakers. I mean, you and I have been having discussions about the fakers since the whole resurgence of comic books being relevant to the mainstream audience. You know, we know who the fakers are.
Yeah,
we've seen them day in and day out. You know, like that's kind of always going to be a thing. It's like it's no different from bandwagon fans in football or bandwagon fans in it's gonna they're going to exist
for the review. Yeah, they'll exist. But what I'm talking about are the business people, like speculators. Speculators jack up almost every market that they jump into because they do all kinds of things to control the market so that they can get the most out of it. You know, collecting figures that are supposedly rare and expensive, then having them graded by a bullshit grading company that they have friends in, and then selling it to one of their friends who has an LLC so that it's on record that that figure that they had sold for however many thousands or millions, and then they turn around and sell it on eBay for that price that they set up, the manufactured high price that they set up. Because if you notice, why did the only Marvel Legends, and I'm using them as an example because they're like the perfect, you know, thing to use, but like there was only one wave of Marvel Legends that was ever super rare to the point where you're like, I kind of get it why it would be expensive. That was the Fin Fang Foom wave. It was like non-existent to most of the world, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And so
thank you, Walmart.
Yeah, I know, right?
Thank you again, Walmart, for that wonderful availability.
I know, right? It's some bullshit. But yeah, like when people explained why that was so expensive, I was like, okay, I get it. That makes sense. That's why you had Chinese companies making a bootleg of Fin Fang Foom because of how rare that. I mean, like, it's literally super rare. Like, less than half the amount of cases of that wave, for whatever reason, were made than any other wave they've ever done. Yet when you go online, you still see Marvel Legends that you can buy right now from many places going for 3 times the price, 4 times the price, sometimes 10 times the price. Shit, they were doing that with classifieds. There's zero excuse for that shit with classifieds. They're brand fucking new.
They're brand new.
They're not even 5 years old, and you've got them going for like, you know, $100, $200. Shit, when Ali Viper had just dropped, I posted about this shit. He was going for $500 in some places. I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, what was it? A lot of people are having. What was it? Recently, this is actually funny that you bring this up. I found a local collector. I just drove up to Greensboro. That's why I wasn't really around yesterday. I drove up to Greensboro and I found a Cobb Banth.
Oh, cool.
Cobb Banth is supposed to be fucking released for another
couple months, right? 2 months?
6, 7 months.
Really? 6 months?
I went, like 6 months, not like July or August. It got pushed back. A lot of these figures are getting pushed back.
Yeah, because of the cases and stuff with I'm sorry, import.
Well, now they're released. Now they're saying that customs are starting to move things along. They're starting to lower restrictions, but who knows? So now all these toy stores and everything are gonna fucking get all this stock and not gonna be able to fucking move it fast enough. Watch.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that at Walmart.
Yeah,
with all the shit they're just putting out.
The fucking garden section. Go to the garden section, man.
I'm gonna have to do that today.
I'm still trying to find Triclops, man. I'd really want to find him, but
he's dope. He's dope. I was surprised. They like, you know how his arms are now cybernetic in the like in the show. He has these little like hinges, and they sculpted all that shit on his arms. They look different from the other guys. I was like, that's how you do it. That's how you do reuse. But anyway, sorry. Continue. My bad.
Oh yeah, no. I was saying, what was it? What was my point? Fuck.
You're going to Greensboro to get Cobb Bear.
Yeah, I got a Cobb Bear. So that's like one of the few things I ever got, or I've ever really found early.
Yeah.
From another collector that sold it just, what was it, $10 above retail. So
that's
I was like,
bad.
all right, you got it early, $10 above retail. I can live with that.
Yeah. See, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I'll drive fucking 2 hours, so I'm really, I'm really spending, extra $20 above retail to go get
I know, for your gas, yeah.
But it's what was it? I had an overarching point though. I had a major point.
The point is that we're getting old.
Yeah, that too. Early onset Alzheimer's is kicking in. Yeah, well, I think it had something to do with fucking Marvel Legends, but
rarity, because we were talking about
in my head.
Yeah,
in like 25 minutes from now, I'll be like, oh yeah, back in the day when we were talking 25 minutes ago.
I know, right? Hey, people know what to expect by now. They better, at least, you know.
I know.
It's been a while, but you know they know what to expect with us. Like we're all. That's why I call the podcast Off Our Brains, because it's just random in most cases. So yeah, but I don't know. It's weird because like you don't get that often though. Where like other collectors. I mean, I guess if you're hardcore into those groups, maybe you do get it more often. But I mean, in general, when you see things posted just for sale, random places, so many people are trying to cake off, and it's just like,
sure,
it doesn't make sense. And like, I think when you think about prices going like skyrocketing, if you're new and you're trying to get into this, and then you have some of the shit that like the rest of us are seeing for those insane prices, there's a sign that some of those folks are not regular collectors. There's a business,
no, they're not.
There's a company behind them, or they have connections with the company, and that's how they get stuff. Because I've noticed there's a lot of people who, and Michael French pointed this out, they never say negative things, and you always see them getting, well, I don't know if it's free, but they do get things first.
Sure.
So, you know what I mean? So,
I mean, we've been saying that for fucking years, man.
I know. Yeah.
I think it kind of sucks that we're not getting our just due, though, because we've been saying this shit for years, and I feel like other people have caught on to shit that we've been saying for years because we have a smaller voice, and now they have a bigger voice. They're taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
Which I kind of resent some of those channels for doing what they're doing, like Lio Convoy, and I'm like, motherfucker, where were you 10 years ago?
I know, right?
We were fucking doing this shit. Get the fuck out of here, kid. Child.
We did it and we got tired of it. Now they're coming on board. It's like, oh, come on, guys. I mean,
you guys are late. It's late to the party.
Yep.
You showed up and there's one girl left and she's drunk on the couch, passed out. All right, you guys showed up way too late.
You got the duff. The duff was left.
Yeah. Come on.
I don't know, man. Because I'm kind of tired. Like, I used to be so, I wanted to be able to educate like our fan base and educate newcomers. That's why I would take the time to explain how shit works, and I would explain it in detail. But there's so many people who are just cool with being ignorant about this stuff. Like, they have their own feeling on how it works, and you can't tell them shit. So I'm like, you have your feeling. I'm still gonna put the truth out there as much as I can, but I'm not gonna sit there and try to convince you or educate you that, you know, what you thought was the way it works is how it actually works. Dude, you know,
fucking God could come down and say, this is how the toy industry works, right? And there'd be a subgroup that's like, well, if God exists and the devil exists, and I trust the devil and what he says, right? And I'm not a religious person. I don't believe in God or the devil. But, you know my point, right? It's kind of like when Bobby Bala says something, and then when fucking Toy Guru says something. It's like they're always going to pick one or the other.
Exactly.
And agree with one or the other.
Exactly.
This is how it is. There's no factual information. It's just everything is an opinion. Yep. And no one's allowed to base anything on fact because they don't think that there's facts anymore.
Yep. It's all about how they feel. That's it.
Yeah.
Always the feeling.
I don't care what the facts say. I know how I feel. I know what my therapists tell me.
It's annoying, man. So annoying. I'm just like, God, guys, like, we're giving you this information so that you can, like, the whole point is to properly educate the buyer so you have all the information and you don't get gypped. We don't like it, and we don't want other people to have to deal with it. But, you know. Exactly. It is what it is, but I guess
that's why I've just given up on humanity at this point. I have 10 people I care about the most. You're one of them, and everybody else can just go fly a fucking kite or just take a long walk off a short pier. I just don't care about the rest of humanity at this point. I've given up.
Oh my God!
I've been called a racist for not thinking that Spirit's spear gun it should be included.
Oh, come on.
Or not included. Excuse me. I didn't want to include it. And I said, thank God it's not included because I hate that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was called a racist.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, really? I'm like, you guys don't get how weird it is that, like, in a modern military organization, the Native American, that'd be like an African dude on there fighting with a spear and no guns, no knife, no nothing. And they'd be like, oh, yeah, that's cool. If he had a fucking Zulu shield and a fucking spear and nothing else.
Like, what do we do? What?
Yeah, it's like, that doesn't make sense. Like, if you include those things, but then you also include the more modern, futuristic stuff, like as a callback, you have those old weapons. Okay, fine. I'd be like, okay, I get it. I know why it's there. But, like, the fact that in place of, you put that shit, like,
well, and it's got to work for the character, too. So if so let's say we're going with what you're saying, like a Zulu warrior, like African whatever themed character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to use a spear and he's going to use like a shield. Have him be like a really smart inventor, so he uses energy shields and he uses like an energy blade,
exactly,
or something like that. Have him don't just here's a spear gun, go blink 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 and say how white man, don't do that shit. And you go humma 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 in the fucking cartoon, and humma humma, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh my god.
You know what I'm talking about? We did the humma 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 in the cartoon. And I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah, like
stroke?
Yeah, like you don't have to do all the things, all the like culturally specific to the back in the day. Like I get it.
It'd be like a white guy peeling potatoes, for Christ's sake. Throwing potatoes at someone in a sack of potatoes. What are you doing? No.
Oh my god. Yeah, I agree. There's a point where it becomes more of a caricature and less of a character. And like for him, for Spirit, like it was already weird that like all of the characters, I mean, I guess you could say the same thing with Storm Shadow. Like with his weird voice that sounds
sounds like a white man doing a Asian voice.
It was terrible, but it was funny, and in the 80s it worked. As time goes on, you kind of have to change that shit. It doesn't work so much. And like for some reason, because that fan base is so stuck in the Cold War era version of G.I. Joe, they just won't let shit evolve. I mean, think about it. Look at how many characters had to be done and redone until they went right back to the original version. And it's funny because it's exactly like I said. I was like, there's no way they would make this line and start out with the 80s versions of the characters. I was like, that's all shit they're going to give you. But if they're going to make it now, it's going to have modern sensibilities or near future sensibilities because the audiences, they see this shit differently. Like in the 80s, we didn't really know exactly what actual soldiers and their gear and stuff how it worked, unless you had someone near you that was in the military or you had access to that kind of stuff, like live near a museum or a military museum or something. You didn't really see how it actually works. Now, you have soldiers doing TikToks and shit. Like in the field. So like, everybody knows what a soldier looks like. They could see if a gun looks like bullshit. They can see what the gear is supposed to look like, your whole loadout. Like they can tell what, a machine gunner looks like versus, like infantry, standard infantry. Like, I don't know. It's just like they could see the difference between things. And now, because everything is readily available, you can't get away with that shit.
You can't.
You have to think.
I remember, what was it? Ghost Recon Wildlands. There's this one channel, and this guy is so like anal retentive about how the gear should look on the body. Mm-hmm. Oh well, you see their chest plate, and it's like not covering. It's like it starts up here, and it should start up here because it's got to cover the chest. I'm like, oh my god, go away.
Yeah, it's a fucking game.
Sit down somewhere and go have some sort of treat that will make you happy.
A treat.
Because go have a treat. I don't care if it's some weed. If you need some sort of dog treat, I don't know what you need. If you need some nerds, a nerd blizzard, give them that.
A blizzard.
Just stop it.
Oh my god.
Reese Cup Blizzard. I don't know what you need. You need a treat. You need to go sit down like a dog or some shit.
Yeah, it's weird. It's because also like you have access now. You can see exactly what everything is supposed to be like, and I don't get why more people they don't educate themselves with all this stuff that's at their fingertips. That way, when they make a judgment, they could be like, "Oh, this makes more sense because this is how it works." You know. Instead, it's like, "I feel," and it's just, it gets annoying. I'm kind of, I don't know. It's why it's difficult to have conversation with new folks about the lines that we get into because they come to it from all these weird perspectives, and the biggest one is nostalgia. And I'm like, nostalgia's cool to a point, but we're all getting way older. Like a lot of us, we're either in our 40s. Some of our friends are pushing 50, and it's like, at what point do you say, okay, this is what things are like now? We've had nostalgia, we had those days.
Had that.
Let's move forward now. You know what I mean? So it's strange.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying about G.I. Joe. And even fucking Star Wars is a notorious thing. Like, they can't get out of that Skywalker saga. They are so stuck on, like, the dumbest stupid you could possibly own. They can't get away from that shit. It's like, just go away. I don't care if you go far forward or you go far backwards. One of those need to happen.
Yeah, make a choice.
Make a choice and stick with it. And even in, what was it, Rebels, they played with alternate realities a little bit. There was a portal when they went in. Did you see that episode? When Ezra went in and he's like, "Oh, there's kind of different
like
portals."
Yeah.
Yeah. So now that they're fucking around with that, you can even go fucking alternate reality.
That's what they're doing, though. They're planning on doing that with some of these newer series, like the Thrawn series that they're doing.
They need to. You know what they need to do? Enter a portal where the sequel stuff just is not. It doesn't exist anymore.
Exactly.
And just run away from that.
Exactly.
And just go directly to Heir to the Empire, and go with Thrawn.
I want him to just
with Ahsoka and all that stuff.
I want him to enter a portal and go back to some of the expanded universe shit. You know, like
just go back to that. Exactly.
Go off and deal with completely different characters that might be very like tangentially, connected to the others. Because
this is still one of my favorite fucking stories.
Yeah, that was pretty dope. Crimson Empire,
yeah, still one of my favorite stories.
Mine was Shadows of the Empire. I dug the shit out of that.
I love that. I still think that can work. Mm-hmm. It can still work. So I don't know, but they got to focus on characters, not like. Because there's a lot of Luke in there, and there's a lot of Han and Leia and Chewie. Like, if you get away from that and just kind of rewrite it a little bit, like if you focus on Dash,
that's what I was gonna say.
Zizor, and you focus on like a little bit of Vader in there, because he ends up killing Zizor.
Yeah.
You can make that all that shit work. You could have Boba Fett in there, all that shit.
Yeah.
And it's all relevant.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But if they rework, using that as a basis and then rewriting all that stuff would be dope because, I think it's time. But, they know that nostalgia sells and they've already trained everybody to be like, remember this thing you used to love? We're going to keep on giving it to you. And so that's just, unfortunate how it's going to be. But on the flip side, in keeping of what we were going to talk about in the first place,
sorry.
No, you're fine. This is what we do. I was doing it too. I was talking about all the other shit too. But McFarlane, we'll start out talking about McFarlane because McFarlane has been doing the Lord's work, and like it's crazy because like a lot of people diss the shit out of him real early on, but then you start noticing that the same people are buying McFarlane product, right? You see it online all the time. See it on Instagram all day long. They were big. Like, detractors of McFarlane. He only makes statues. They're going to fall apart. And it's like they forgot the Metal Gear line. They forgot the Halo line from back in the day all the way up to about, a couple years back when they did Guardians, Halo 5. They did from Halo 1. Well, they started at Halo 3. They did all the way up to 5. And then they did an anniversary series where they went backwards and started doing, different armors from Halo 1 and 2 and characters from Halo 1 and 2 and stuff. I mean, they did a lot. and they were pretty posable with the exception of a handful of characters when Halo 5 came around. Good God. That's kind of where it was like, ooh, that lock figure is one of the worst. I mean, it looks amazing, but it's
bad.
It's terrible
It's really
as far as
bad.
articulation
I really
goes.
dig his design,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's a cool
I
design.
like Locke's design. I like that whole team's design.
Yeah. But they shot the bed.
The ball.
Shot the bed with his articulation, but there was articulation. Same thing with Metal Gear. The Metal Gear line had a ton of articulation in most of the figures, especially the Metal Gear 2 version of Snake. The first one, actually, everybody was pretty well articulated. They all had like 5 or 6 points of articulation, but I mean, they had articulation, you know? Nitro Riders, they had a lot of articulation. I mean, there's a bunch of other lines where he spent the time and had characters with articulation. So it's not that they always made statues only, but
sure. The 10th anniversary Spawn.
Oh yeah, the superposable one.
I still want to get that.
Me too.
Just not for the
not for those prices. Yeah, no way. Yeah, he's one I still need to get. I don't have. I used to have the original Todd Toys Spawn with the fold out cape, and
oh yeah.
That's one of the ones that got left and lost in the purge when I moved out of my mom's house.
Are you talking about the OG?
Yeah, the original one. Yeah, that one. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good one. And that's a figure that was way ahead of its time.
Yeah, I had him and Medieval Spawn. I really dug the Medieval Spawn figure.
Me too.
Yeah. I want to get him. They did like a revamp that came with the horse, and I want to get that version if I can get it. But I've never seen it for a decent, like a reasonable price. It always was like $150 or $200, and I'm like, nah, it's not worth that kind of money. Come on now.
I liked the whole Viking series too that he did.
Yeah, Spawn the Blood Axe. I have that. I still have that.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I have him. He was huge. And who was the one that came on the horse? You have the one on the horse, right?
Yeah, I have both the horses. There's I can't remember the names.
Yeah.
I have the gray horse with the horn.
Yeah.
Helmet, armor piece.
Yeah.
And then I have the other one that's like the more expensive one with the other armor piece where it's kind of horned out.
The horns are going outward. Yeah.
Yeah. There's ones that go in that are gray, and then there's one that's like black, I think, that go out. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those horses are somewhere in that area over there. Put away because there's no room in this room.
Yeah. I didn't know about the horses until much like years later. I saw them when I was like, I know that some of that stuff was in the catalogs, but back then I would open the package and throw that shit out. As soon as I got everything out, I just threw it away. I didn't even look at the package and the back, the cross.
I don't care what this thing is called. Get it out.
Yeah, get it out of here. I want to play with the figure. So I was like so anxious. And I know with McFarlane stuff, I did that all the time because my stores, the comic book stores in my area, they didn't used to have that much as far as McFarlane stuff goes. They had a few things, usually older stuff, but whenever something new came out, they'd have like 1 or 2 of the newest shit. And then that was it. So, yeah, I was just like, yo, I found it. I'm good. I'm going to open it up and play with it and throw out the box. I don't care. And so that's what I did. But yeah, him taking over, like I knew once when they announced it, if him handling DC was going to be awesome. And I knew he would highlight his own work on Batman because I was like, why wouldn't you, And then, like, I knew that like he wouldn't make the characters too stiff because of all the complaints about the lack of articulation. And then I knew that the figures were going to be larger because he kept talking about being larger. He always wants his stuff to stand out from whatever everyone else is doing. So
I embrace that. I like it when a toy creator is sticking to their guns. They want to do things their way, and as long as it doesn't exceed more than like 8 to 10 inches, like anything more than that, I'm just like, I don't have fucking room for that shit.
Yeah.
If it's around that 6 to 8 inch, I'm good.
Yeah, because DC Collectibles used to do that, or DC Direct. They used to make pretty much 7-inch figures, and everybody that liked DC shit used to get them. And like, it was funny because the other day I did a vlog where I was talking about people forgot when they talk about bad QC, they always leave DC Collectibles out of the conversation.
Oh yeah,
DC Collectibles
remember those days
was the worst with the clear joints and shit. Like you don't know bad QC until you've dealt with that. For real, because
I will say this: they were really good about fixing their shit.
Oh yeah,
fixing their problems. NECA doesn't care about you.
Yeah,
NECA had the same clear joints, and they'd just be like, "Well, too bad, bye bye."
Yeah, Funko's even worse. And then
Funko was bad.
Mezco doesn't.
They started dabbling.
Yeah, Mezco doesn't use clear joints, but their customer service is just as bad. Their customer service is terrible. They're just like, yeah, too bad, so sad.
Yeah, piss posh.
Yeah. It sucks. I'm like, man, how is it possible for you to just ignore us like that, you know?
Speaking of Mezco, did you see the Little Bastards being released?
Who?
The Little Bastard.
What the hell is a Little Bastard?
Damian Wayne.
Oh, yeah. I was like, of course.
I just call him the Little Bastard at this point.
Yeah, I can't stand him. I was like, why?
I hate that little motherfucker.
You could, like, for a company that you know will do more than one version, why didn't they do, like, Dick first, then Tim, then Damian? You know what I mean? Like, or Tim,
give
Jason.
Us just 90s Tim, because that's really what I want.
Yeah. I think most hardcore DC fans, they want the original Robins. They don't want Damian, because most of us don't like Damian, you know? But
no. He's the least popular Robin. Ever.
Yeah, he's what's in right now, so I don't know. There's a lot of crap that's going on with Mezco specifically that I'm just like, Like they just announced their what's his name, Robert Pattinson version of Batman, but we're still waiting on news for the '89. Which so keep in mind, this is the 5th Batman, I want to say, that they've released in between the pre-order for Keaton Bats. You've had the Gotham by Gaslight, Batman 66, the Batfleck
How did
from
we get Gotham by Gaslight before '89?
Bro,
what?
Yeah, what the fuck?
How do people have jobs at this point?
Yeah, it makes no sense. They did. God, there was another one. Why is it I can't remember this other one? Oh,
if they were smart, they would just pump out '89 and then '92 right at the same time, almost damn near right next to each other.
And then the one from the Flash.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. They're going to do the one from the Flash, and then '89 will come out, or they'll release '89 right when Flash is getting ready to be released, and then they'll turn around and be like, "Hey, guess what? Here's another one."
God, that's so ignorant.
And it's just like, come on, guys,
That's so ignorant.
But I mean,
because you wouldn't even be able to pre-order it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way. That thing's been pre-ordered 2 years ago.
3 now.
Like, you can't even get it. So what's the point of even waiting to release it at that point? Unless you're going to re-release it.
Yeah, I would hope they would. I would hope they would, but yeah, I mean, like, it's bad enough that if you put money down on the pre-order, it's non-refundable. But now we've been waiting for going on 3 years because it's 2019. What was that? July of 2019, I think.
That's insane.
Yeah, like we're still waiting for that shit. And I get COVID. That's why I was patient. But 3 years
past COVID now.
Yeah, 3 years.
2 years past COVID. Let's cut the shit.
Yeah.
Here. There's no more excuses to be had.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, and they haven't kept us updated to let us know like what's going on. Like we learned about issues with the seamless body because we heard stuff on a podcast where somebody said they spoke to someone at Mezco and that's what the issue was. But like, what happened since then? Did you succeed? Did they fix the problems? Like, what's going on?
Well, and they pulled the gotcha with fucking Conan with that goddamn shitty ass cake they gave us. You know how fucking pissed off. Wait till you see I upload the review. I was so fucking annoyed with that goddamn shitty cape. I'm like, literally, I went to Joann Fabrics and made this shit myself.
Yeah, I mean,
it looks like someone took scissor, like folded the cloth over and took a scissor and cut out little holes. It's horrible. It's horrible. And then rolled the shit in mud. It looks terrible. It's awful.
Wow.
Like he had a nice like fur cloak that he was supposed to have. And no. And then they released, what was it? Fucking last month they were like, oh, here's a expansion pack for Conan, and then they include the fur cloth. I'm like, you motherfucker, you better send me that shit for free. Because that's what originally I paid for.
It would make sense. But they're not gonna give you
Fucking
shit for
Mezco.
free. You know how it is.
No, they don't do any of that. No.
They're not gonna give us free shit. Yeah, it's frustrating because it's an $80 to $100 toy, and you don't always get. I think in the past when they were giving us the figures for $85, we were getting more for our money. Then they upped the price, and we're still getting either the same amount as we did before or less, and they're more expensive. I mean, how does Conan cost more than a Batman figure with all the gear, all the soft goods, and all that shit? He's just plastic. There's just a little bit of soft
toy.
Yeah, it makes no sense because you're paying for the extra stitching and soft goods and all that. You're not paying for just plastic. That's every other.
And I want to know what did I wait 2 years for?
Yeah,
the product that I got wasn't anything really all that special. Like, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's the greatest Conan figure ever." I'm like, compared to what? Legendary Heroes?
I know that's the only other one, unless you're talking about the statues from McFarlane.
No. No.
And even those statues were awesome, and the statues are awesome from McFarlane. I mean, the likenesses are awesome. Like,
sure, I got the one where he's like floating in the air with the sword.
Yeah, it looks good, man. It looks way better than the Super 7 bullshit. The subpar 7.
Super 7 ones.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Those are so overrated.
Yeah, they are.
They're so overrated and overpriced. It's absurd.
Yeah, their Ninja Turtles are awesome. I give them that. The Ninja Turtle stuff is awesome, but like everything else, not so much. But McFarlane though, what's your favorite so far of the McFarlane figures that have been released?
Oh my god.
Like, judge it by the one you play with the most, like the one you mess with and pose and
Oh man, I gotta look at them. It's probably, I don't know. I have a lot of fun with the comic book Flash, but it's probably between Superman, the Rebirth one that came out originally. This guy right here.
Yeah.
Him and John Stewart. I mean, I don't know. There's just something that between those three that are just the most fun for me. Especially John Stewart with the accessories and
he's a badass figure.
Jetpack and all that fun stuff. Or not the jetpack, but the
ammo pack. Yeah, he's a badass figure. They did a really, really good job on him. Yeah,
and the movie figures. I don't usually collect movie figures, but I got all of them. So
really, I got Cyborg. I got Superman, and I got Cyborg, Superman, and what's his name? Steppenwolf. Yeah, I think.
I don't have any of the villains. I just got the 6.
Yeah. I only wanted Steppenwolf and Darkseid. I still haven't found Darkseid for a decent price. But I think
I should also include this out of not even DC stuff, just McFarlane in general.
Yeah.
The Spawn shit I'd never put down.
Same
I
here.
never put that shit down.
Same here.
It's so fun, especially Gunslinger Spawn.
I was about to say that's my favorite so far. Was Gunslinger Spawn.
He's
that's
so
the
good.
one I'm always playing with that one. Every day at some point I'm messing around with him, posing him, have him tipping his hat, have him emptying the gun, have him, unloading on somebody or something. I'm always playing around with him. It's not. I mean, in terms of like a toy, it feels like a perfect toy. The guns aren't too hard. Sometimes it feels like the weapons are a little, on the soft side. But once you put them under some cold water or something and just have them straight, they're perfect. They're easy to get in his hands. His hands, the joint isn't too deep and it's not too out, like too far out. You know how sometimes the ball will be really far away from the wrist? It's perfectly inset so you can get him to point upward or downward or twist it and do whatever you need to do. It's an easy toy to play around with, and it's really well done, and I had no issues with him at all out of the box. So it's a dope figure.
I love it. I stare at him all the time. He's just chilling right here right now. Just hanging out. Who else? I mean, the fucking Violator, him right there.
Yeah, that figure's dope.
That love that is like damn. Like I've been waiting for a Violator like that it's articulated for so fucking long. He's just fucking perfect.
Yeah,
he is absolutely perfect. It's so good.
Yeah, I agree. My only gripe
It's really
I'll give
good.
him with the wings on the Redeemer is that his wings are those big ass heavy unarticulated wings. And I'm like, dude, like, come on. We're how many years after DCUC and Create a Superstar where they had the wings that articulated, that folded out and folded back? So it's like, why don't you just... Everyone should do that. Like, it doesn't make sense for you to do that one piece bullshit. Like, come on. Your figure looks so much more complicated than that.
Well, if you're gonna do that, and even if they are gonna do that, which they should do what you suggested, but even if you are gonna do the one piece, make them hollow plastic.
Yeah.
And just make sure the sculpt is really well done and painted.
Yeah.
Because making him that heavy, he's got to be posed up against the wall. I can't
Exactly.
do anything else with him.
Yeah.
The wings constantly fall forward. It overweights the figure. He's a great looking figure, but I can't do shit with him.
Yeah.
He's just the least fun, I want to say, out of anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I skipped on him because I was like, those wings. I saw him. First time I saw him, someone had stolen the wings. I was like, really? You stole these wings?
Oh my God, why?
Yeah, I was like, probably a customizer, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I want to make an angel.
Exactly.
I need that X Factor angel.
Exactly. But I'm trying to think of other characters from McFarlane that I've been picking up. Oh, Dr. Fate. I play with him all the time too. Dr. Fate's
he's a good one.
Freaking dope. And I love the Arkham Joker. That's my favorite Joker of all time. Next, you know, I imagine him having what's his name? Jack Nicholson's voice, even though in the games he had Mark Hamill's voice, which either works for me, but I think he looks more like a tall, skinny version, like an elongated version of Jack Nicholson's Joker. But
Sure.
He's perfect. And the fact that he's taller than the Mezco Batman figures, which those three are my go-to Batmans, it gives the Joker a whole nother level of menace because he's like tall and skinny and lanky and creepy looking. Like it works, man. I can't wait for McFarlane to do a Mr. Freeze figure because I almost paid.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, I almost paid the extra to get.
He's got to be a deluxe, I bet.
I hope so.
Got to make him bigger and
something like that.
I'll pay the extra for that.
Well, I almost bought the Mezco one, and then I was like, yeah, I don't really need lights. I'm not gonna pay the extra for a bunch of LEDs that they put in for the eyes and the gun. Like that's really all you were paying for. And
true.
And I think
I would like to get it though. I think I would still like to get it
if it wasn't $200.
It's sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
So good luck.
Yeah. Yeah. I gave up on it real quick. Like I think I'm over my Mezco phase because even though they make cool stuff, the 89 thing really soured my interest. And then their responses to people who have been asking about that figure, essentially they're just like, go fuck yourself. You're gonna buy it when we release it anyway, so go fuck yourself. And it's just like, come on, guys. And not enough people are making a big enough deal.
It's terrible business practices. It looks horrible as far as the business goes.
Yeah,
like you're telling people to pre-order something, and you said it was going to be about a year out. It turned into 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
3 years, and people are still waiting with their money on the line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what if during that third year they don't have the money in their account? Then what?
Yeah, exactly.
Their pre-order gets canceled. They waited 3 years for nothing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's bullshit, and they'll do that. Oh, it didn't go through the first time. Cut. We're done with you. We took that deposit and we're out. It's just it's bogus. Who's another really awesome figure that I like? I want them to do Killer Croc too because I have the DC UC one. I mean DC collectibles
I can see them doing that.
If they did one, and even if they do the same one, which I doubt it, they'll do their own version of one.
Yeah, they'll do their own version.
They're
doing Clayface, which you know how happy I am about that.
Me too.
And by the way, people, he is comic book accurate, so go fuck yourselves. By the way.
Isn't it?
I had to put a whole post up there comparing the actual artwork of him to the figure, and it's exactly the same. So
You know how it is. They
I
only
know a lot of people want the animated head, but this isn't an animated version. So
Exactly.
Guess what?
Well, and you have so
Sorry.
many of those fans that only read certain books. They haven't been reading comics for as long as others. Definitely not as long as we have. So when we're talking about this stuff and we're saying, this was back in, 90 something or back in the early 2000s, not just the last 5 years. We're talking like some of these designs are inspired by shit from the 80s, but then they add a modern twist to it. So like, yeah, you're gonna have that, unfortunately, and it gets old. It's like, oh, that you should do this super rare version of fucking Basil Carlo that nobody else gives a shit about. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
nah,
Yeah,
dude,
no.
it doesn't work like that. It has to be the thing that people recognize and that more fans recognize. It can't just be the one obscure comic book you happen to read. Like that doesn't make sense. But
and I don't like. I mean, I like my Clayface to look a little bit more visceral. I want him to look like a pile of goop. Like, I don't want him to look all smooth and animated. Like, I want him to look kind of gross. That's kind of the point.
yeah, I agree.
It's to make him look that way.
Yeah, like the one from DCUC did a good job of mixing the two. That he was gross and he looked kind of like the animated series, but like in real life. Because the Horsemen, I mean, they do their thing when they're given a chance. You let them off the leash and they go nuts. It's just he had those fucking rubbery ass arms.
Yeah, that was a big mistake.
I was like, man, you shouldn't have done that, man, because now the arms are one color and the body is another color. So,
and it probably cost him more to make the rubber than
yeah, because it's a whole nother process now, whole nother process. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
So I do want to say this about McFarlane though. I ordered the 3 Jokers wave.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I will be sending you that Batman.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm forcing you to do the review on it, by the way. But they sent me a 15% off their store. Which, wow. On top of that, they sent me a fucking free comic. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, wow.
What's going on?
Wow, see?
So I was like, what?
See, Toddy Mac,
there's
man.
The heads up for if you buy directly from McFarlane, they actually hook you up with some extra stuff.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool. So
it's kind of like Marauders is like that too. They sent me tons of shit one time they left shit out of my order, and I was like, yeah, you guys left out like 2 or 3 things, and they were like, okay, well, do you want us to send? Would you rather have this or would you rather have this? And it was like, we can send it with the next thing you order, or we can just we'll send you the replacement for the things or the items that we left out, and as usual we'll throw in some extras. And they gave me like a bunch of fucking like guns and shit, and it was a helmet was the thing they missed. It was a helmet and a belt, like a tactical belt so you can attach pockets and shit. And they sent me all these guns and a helmet the helmet I asked for, but they sent me another helmet, like the fast helmets. And I was just like, wow, okay. Yeah, thanks. I mean, I wasn't complaining. I only told them one time, like, can you guys, send me my shit? I already paid for it, But yeah, it was they were quick.
Marauders is, I want to say, probably the best with their customer service, and they respond right away. Too. Yeah, that's the other good thing about that. I want to say they're the best small company when it comes to customer service.
Yeah, yeah.
Mythic Legion is pretty good too. The 4 Horsemen are pretty good about replacements and stuff like that too. But
I just wish they had shit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right.
I can never I don't sit there and wait. I don't set an alarm. I'm like, oh, 4 Horsemen made some shit. I want to check out what they made, and then I go to check, and it's like all sold out except for like 1 or 2 things, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, seriously? I mean, I get popularity, but I'm like, shit, man, stock your stuff. You know how much people like this stuff. Like, stock it. So, I only want 1 or 2 characters, and I can never, ever find them. So, I gave up on 4 Horsemen a long time. I think I've talked about it before, because you've helped me get the few figures I have.
Yeah. I still can't believe that they haven't re-released Otho. I've been the biggest advocate for the re-release of that figure, and I still don't understand. He's hard to find, and he's like $200.
Didn't they do an all-star version of him like a couple years ago?
He's been in the running for a vote, and he doesn't make the list.
Really?
And I'm like, if you're gonna re-release the All-Stars anyway, and you're gonna keep voting on them every time, just fucking re-release all of them.
Yeah,
What's the difference?
That would make more sense.
Because you're losing out on the tooling eventually. Like, the tooling is gonna degrade eventually.
True.
And then you're never gonna get it. So,
unless they do it.
I sneeze. Oh boy.
Yeah, go ahead. You're good. And then disappeared.
And then just went away.
False alarm.
You saw my ugly ass face. I was like, and it goes away.
Oh my god. Oh no, like man, yeah. Mythic Legions is strange like that. And I have a feeling everything they do is like that. And it's weird because the same people are reselling all that shit online at a ridiculous premium. So
oh sure, that's been like the thing since Wave 1.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah. When
remember when we went to, what was it? We went to the first year we went to the Columbus Toy Show.
Yeah.
And I remember first walking in, immediately to the left there was a vendor.
Yeah.
And he was selling them for $150 each for Wave 1.
I remember him.
And I was like, damn, I'd like to get one, but
not at those prices. Yeah, hell no.
No.
Yeah.
That was the same year that guy won the friggin' Terradrome.
Oh yeah. Holy shit.
And there was a Defiant on that some guy bought a Defiant and they were like, he was walking out with it, remember?
Yeah, we were like, holy
like,
shit.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, man, we saw a lot of crazy stuff because we saw the whole Fin Fang Foom wave that year. Somebody was selling that shit for like $500.
Eternia was there.
Yeah, Eternia was there. The whole playset. I had never seen that shit in real life.
Yep, that was the first time me seeing it.
Yeah, it's weird, man. There's a lot of stuff that like I heard about it and I saw pictures of it, but like going to the toy shows and hanging out with the people at Big Fun, I got to see like the actual physical, like these like mythical figures and toys and shit from our childhood. I got to actually see that shit. I'm like, wow, like Starcom. There was so much Starcom shit that I didn't even know existed. And one year at the toy show, they were like, oh yeah, we got in like all this stuff from Starcom. And they had like it was behind, so you know the front end where I got the MCC, they were behind that guy. And on their side, they just had a lineup of all these play sets and figures and shit. And they had like Starcom, one of the bases they had, because you remember those figures and vehicles had like magnets and stuff, and the figures were tiny and had the little magnets in their feet. A lot of that shit, I remember watching the show. I didn't see not one of those toys in real life. So when I learned there were toys, I was like, oh shit, let me check this out. And
I feel like there were so many toys like that from our childhood, where you saw them on TV and you were like, oh cool, I want to get fucking what were they called, like Battle Beast or something?
Yeah,
little,
water beats fire.
never saw those in stores.
Really?
Never once.
Wow.
Same thing with Motu. Motu, when I was a kid.
Yeah, I didn't see them in stores.
Just sold out all the time.
Same here. Motu was like that. Transformers was like that. We never would see them. And then when we did, well, I would see Transformers, but never the ones I wanted. It'd always be like, you know, those weird flipping Transformers. You remember the ones where you like sit them down and then they would like drive and flip? It'd be dumb shit like that. Or
it's like, I don't want this shit.
Yeah, I don't want that at all. Oh yeah, but never the ones I wanted. Never, not once. Even Centurions. I remember when they first came out, I only saw the pilot. I didn't know that it was a full-on series. And then years and years later, I saw the series on like USA, like Cartoon Network. I mean, Cartoon. What was that thing called? Express. Cartoon Express on USA. And I was like,
oh yeah.
I was like, they made a series? I didn't know this was a series. And I'm seeing all these characters and shit. And then lo and behold, we found them at like Odd Lots or something. I'm like, shit, they have all these figures? Like, what the fuck?
What happened?
Yeah, it was weird, man. It's weird. I mean, it's like that kind of sort of now, but we just have so many ways to keep up with all that shit.
Yeah.
There's so many fucking
here's
lines.
a question for you. Like, if there was no internet, right? would the stock be what we grew up with now in stores because there's no
Probably.
internet?
Yeah,
Or
there'd be
would
no
it
pre-orders.
Yeah.
There
there's
wouldn't
no
be pre-orders because now they
Or would you have
pre-order.
to pre-order through the store?
Oh, that'd be weird. That'd be really weird.
Horrible.
Because, see, this is another thing. You know, I always complained about pre-orders, why I don't like them. And I get them to some degree, but, like...
With exclusives, I get it.
Yeah, because they're
Regular
limited
releases?
quantities. Yeah, they're limited. They're
Yeah.
extremely limited. And that's why a pre-order makes sense. But, like... And if you're a small company, like, you know, Bobby Vala doing Valaverse, or, like, you know, Invincible Toys doing the Futuristic Combat Soldiers, that sort of shit... You're smaller than the major retail outlets, so of course you need to pre-order those items. You don't have your own factory, so it makes sense. Or if it was something like when Mortal Kombat dropped for the Genesis and the Super NES, remember that? Everybody was like, yo, Mortal Kombat's coming to the home systems, and they knew that shit was going to sell out real quick, and they didn't have forever stock of it. So yeah, pre-ordering it makes sense. That way you reserve your copy, and then you can, you know, pay the rest of the way. But to pre-order everything, like nothing is offered in the numbers that we used to get. And no matter what Scott Knightlick says, the proof is out there. Like, there's shit that came out, Marvel Legends that are released, you know, 1 month, and then they're completely gone all over the US, all over Europe. They're gone. That's it. Yeah. Never again. Like, what the fuck?
And that's the other thing that Scott Knightlick doesn't know is that I worked for Toys R Us, and I've heard the reasons as to why they're not ordering more figures is because they're just not wanting to. Like, I've asked my manager, and they're just like, yeah, they're trying to wait for the next season.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what Scott is trying to say is that there's only so much toy room, and until they sell all the other stuff, then they make room for the other. No, that is not how it works.
Exactly.
I will tell you factually right the fuck now that I have been told by managers and district managers and regional managers from Toys R Us that they are waiting seasonally for product.
Yeah.
That's what Toys R Us always did.
Yeah.
There's another huge downfall as to why Toys R Us took a shit.
Yeah, true.
That,
I mean,
and that, you know, that law firm just coming in and gutting the
Bain Capital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pain of everyone's existence.
I know, right? It's ridiculous. I mean, and it's funny because it wasn't always like that. Like, sometimes, I remember back in the day, before any of us were old enough to work at Toys R Us, shit just stayed stocked. I mean, I know that's what Michael French was talking about when he kind of had that really bad debate with Scott Knightlick, because he looked like a kid, like a little kid talking to him. But I see, and Scott's like, no, that's not how it works. This is how it works.
Yeah, you kind of have to have your ducks in a row when you're gonna.
It was bad. I was like, whoa, that was bad. But like when we were kids, you would go and you would see things stocked. I do remember times when I was looking for something else and I didn't know what those other lines were. I do remember seeing like an entire aisle of G.I. Joe. You know what I mean? Or I remember seeing when Ninja Turtles were hitting their like peak. I remember seeing both sides of the aisle full of Ninja Turtle shit. Dark Knight collection. I remember seeing all of it on the shelf. All of it. Everything on the back of the box of the vehicles and the smaller carded figures. Everything was on the shelf. Except for like whatever mail away exclusive, because they always had those.
Even back in the old Hills Kmart days, maybe there weren't Hills in a lot of people's areas, but Hills was like a department store like Kmart, and they had huge toy sections. You go to toy sections now in Target and Walmart, and it's one aisle.
Yeah, mine is two.
Maybe two.
It's two
for action
figures. Yeah.
And then they got Lego, which fuck Lego, by the way. And then you've got, all of your, your Hot Wheels section and all that stuff. Like, that stuff used to be full, like, 2 or 3 aisles of it. Mm-hmm. And you can't tell me, regardless of whatever price costs there are, you can't tell me that these big companies like Hasbro and whatever aren't specifically selling less copies and distributing them terribly on purpose. You can't tell me that because they know where the product is going before it leaves. Yeah. They know what targets it's going to, and Target, the company, it's their fault too because they're only sending the majority of the stock to the big places that have bigger numbers for populations.
Exactly.
So not everyone's ever going to get it. Where back in the day, the distribution was a lot easier. I know in Buffalo, New York in 1980s, Buffalo was a small fucking city. It's not even the city that it is now. It's much more evolved now than it used to be. In the 80s, Buffalo was a disaster. It was a mess. It was a small city that once was big and had like a place like Bethlehem Steel, which kind of everyone would go there to just work at Bethlehem Steel and work at the Ford plant and work at a bunch of places. But we always had, figures were stocked regardless of the population. And that's what a lot of this corporate world that we live in now. Everything is corporate. Everything is corporately run. And you know how corporate lawyers think? They think, what's my bottom line and what's my revenue and how much am I making? How much are the rich people more money are the richer people going to make? How much is the CEO going to make? That's all they care about. They don't give a fuck about me, you, distribution, how many toys they're going to make. They don't care about any of that. They just care about, did it sell out? Great. Maybe we'll re-release it, 2-3 years from now.
Well, I think what it is, it's more of a data thing. It's like it's like
analytics. Everything is analytics.
Yeah, they see like everything. You're moving blocks from here to here to here to here. This place gets more blocks, this place gets less. You know what I mean? Like it's everything that they can do so they can maximize profit and then minimize the amount of work that needs to go into maximizing profit. And that's not that's not good. I mean, like I've heard, as much as I'm not a fan of Bobby Valla, like I love his approach to the toys, but I hate his approach to who he has backing up the brand, because a lot of the dudes and the dude bros and some of the military people that he has involved are not the best people. when you look a little bit further than, hey, this guy actually served. You look a little deeper and it's like, you probably shouldn't be putting them up, propping them up with your brand, but he doesn't seem to care. But the stuff bothers me. I like
who? Tim?
Like Tim Kennedy's one of them, because Tim Kennedy endorses other people that are just they're not great people. And even his whole operation, the idea is great. So on paper it looks great. In theory it's great. He's doing stuff. But then when you look into what he's actually doing and how he's doing it, then there's all these other problems, and there's a lot of active personnel that can back this up. They're like, yeah, it's awesome. He's making the moves himself, but they can clarify whether or not it's more for clout, or is it because there's actually a reason to do this and help folks. You know what I mean?
Well, can I just say this objectively? I thought it's very odd that he started pushing a lot of figures in his line that are actually based off real people right away. I could see if that's like an exclusive or something. You only have a very small run for this character and this, that, and the other thing, and it's just maybe a reused body with a head sculpt. But when he starts putting personalities in there, like he's already got 2 personalities, 3 if you count Sergeant Slaughter.
Slaughter, yeah.
Everybody wants Sarge, and everybody loves Sarge.
That's the only one I've got on pre-order.
Totally understand. But when you've got other people's like, and don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with Analog Toys. I don't have any issue with him.
Yeah,
I think he's probably a really nice guy. But what?
It's just one of those things. It's a marketing ploy, and it works.
It seems like the guy that's got a company, and Godspeed, he's allowed to do whatever he wants with his toy company.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was a little odd this soon in the line, when you should be focusing on your original characters, and you're just kind of throwing into characters that don't really have much of a story to them.
I think it's a bonus. That's the way I read it. It's a bonus for people who want more, they want more characters to add to their roster. Because I know the characters show up in the comic. He mentioned something about them. But I think what he's trying to do is the G.I. Joe dropped the ball with this. Like they had real life personalities that were Joes. And then they dropped the ball and they did stupid shit like the fridge with his stick with the football on the like they did it, but they dropped the ball and it was so comical.
I want to know how that even hurts someone.
Hey, he's a big dude. I guess if he swings the stick, he's gonna fuck somebody up. But yeah, it was
with a pigskin.
Yeah,
an inflated pigskin that could be deflated at any second.
Hey, it's dumb. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It was dumb to me when I was a kid. But they had too many of those kinds of characters. Like whenever they did a real somebody, except for Sarge, everybody else seemed kind of not as well thought out.
Yeah, they tried to do the Rocky Balboa thing, and then
turned him into Big Boa.
What that turned into. Yeah.
It just, I'll give him props for it. I just wish he selected his people. Maybe he did a little more research, or maybe it wasn't so much. And maybe what he's trying to do is separate them from their politics. But
sure. Well, I mean, you have to separate the characters that they're based on from their politics because it's not the same person.
Well, no, in his line, they're supposed to be the same person. That's the problem. If the name of the character, like their real names, they have their code names, but their real name is that character. He even had their likeness, their actual loadout, everything is true to the real guy. So, I mean, for some people that'll be cool because the politics will align. But I think with other folks, it's kind of one of those things that, more thought needs to go into who you have endorsing or who you're allowing to be endorsed in your line, because I just don't want the line to turn into a who's who of C-tier celebrities. Like I don't want, if you sign fucking Brad Pitt, obviously go for the licensing if you can, but none of these people are Brad Pitt, dude. You don't have fucking Tom Cruise that you're signing to your toy line. I mean, but you have to admit, for a independent company, it's a good idea, and it's not. Sure. It's not completely bad. It's just bad when the politics don't align. And politics don't even come into play for me when I'm collecting my toys. But as soon as you get into military, then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, this is the problem G.I. Joe was having, and that's why they keep on reimagining them as more of a futuristic Spec Ops type unit and not so much a real world Spec Ops unit, because then politics come into view. And that's why it's part of what I was trying to get across when I did that podcast with Joe Berg and what was the other group, Full Force, the Full Force podcast. I was trying to point out that the politics of some of the moves that were being made early on with the classifieds, like changing Gung Ho's tattoo from the freaking, I mean, I know there's a branding / licensing reason for it, but then they turned around and made a figure. Yeah, they turned around and they fixed it.
That's a bullshit. Yeah, that's a bullshit excuse. They still want to do it.
I agree. Someone redid it and they did it their way, and their way looks like something that we should never see on a U.S. Marine's chest or body
that looks
at
like
all.
A fucking goddamn Nazi.
Yeah, and I said it when I saw it. And then bad enough, you got him all like skin-headed out with, he's got that haircut and shit, and it's just like, this is kind of it's not the no, move closer, move this way so we can see you.
Hello.
It's kind of I don't know. All the moves are intentional. I mean, that's just the way it is. And some things don't look right. The fact that they took off the real American hero, I mean, they've done it before. The fact that, like, they don't have anything that tells you what country the characters are from like they used to. These are all
weird. It's just weird, and they're not even like really talking about it too much. They're just kind of sweeping it underneath the rug.
Yeah,
and it's like,
yeah, they know that the fans don't look at that shit. They look at things and they do scrutinize, because you hear Joe Berg scrutinize every fucking thing. They've been doing it for the whole 10 years I've been online, and then some, because Steven had that blog a long time before, maybe a couple years before I even started making content. And if you could scrutinize for that long something that simple, because I mean, in many cases they're creating their own areas to look at and put under a microscope. if you could scrutinize it that much, then you have to be aware of where this stuff was coming from. And that was probably my frustration with that podcast, is that everybody was like, yeah, it doesn't really bother me. And they were talking about other stuff. And I'm like, you've made videos and podcasts where you scrutinize just the file cards. Then there's ones where you scrutinize the art, but you're not going to scrutinize the characters, like, and the meaning behind removal of very specific things. I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. So yeah, I know that as someone who's I am a
it doesn't surprise me. I mean, there's a reason why I don't listen to these guys. I don't listen to those podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, like,
it doesn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah, I mean,
they're fickle when it comes to what they deem acceptable and what not. You know, they don't look at things objectively across the board. They only like what they like, and that's it. That's all that matters to them. They're a very subjective podcast, and that's about it. That's really all you need to. If you're a fan of them, great, good for you. I'm glad you like it. Doesn't affect my life one bit. But when you're looking at a reviewer or a podcaster and they're not looking at things from
objectively,
or they have rose-colored glasses on, like, it's just you're just watching them just for someone to say, I love this thing because that's what I like. And I mean, I could listen to my 13-year-old stepson say that all day, but you know, until you have an objective opinion, then I'll start taking you seriously. I just don't take people like that seriously that don't have that objective opinion and don't put what they think is just amazing. Like, I love everything I own. Not everything is great.
Yeah, we've talked about that many times. From an objective
standpoint, there's tons of flaws within everything, and at least directing that and pointing that out is one thing. There's nothing that's directed in a objective standpoint with those guys, and they just never will. So I just can't take them seriously. So it's like, goodbye. I just don't have time for that.
I hear you. So I hear you 100%. Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with what's the cool new thing, and with other Joe podcasts that I will name unmentionable, and other, you know, G.I. Joe channels that just go off the deep end whenever they want. I think you know who I'm talking about there.
Yeah, I know.
By the way, that person hit me up and messaged me.
Yeah.
And I don't think he realized who I was.
Really?
Because the message disappeared.
Oh, it did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
So he sent me a comment saying, hey, ODC, I messaged you. Just check your Facebook messages. I go to my Facebook message. I saw that it was there, and then I checked it an hour later. I was like, oh, let's just see what he wants. And I went to go check it, and it was gone.
Oh, wow.
Weird.
Dang.
I forgot to tell you about that one, but I thought that was fun.
Wow. I don't know. I'm not trying to.
I just don't have time for those dudes, man. I just don't.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be cliquish. You know what I mean? Like, I try to call a spade all the time. You know, like it gets old when you can't do that. And I mean, we live in a time where everything. It's like the internet's favorite pastime is being outraged about shit. You know what I mean? Or sweep
cancel culture.
Canceling you for being objective about stuff and being an asshole about stuff too. But most of the time it's literally because you have a differing opinion on something than whoever it is that's the original poster of the question or whatever. And
you know what? I don't have a problem being an asshole. I've been an asshole my whole life. So.
But I mean, like, but even still, like, you can disagree without completely trying to, you know, demean someone, and you can be objective about why you disagree with them. So, like, you know, saying you don't like the fact that for them everything is super happy and everything is awesome and blah blah blah. Yeah, it's objectively, it's true. Everything is not awesome with the Joes. You can't just be like, I love Joes, I will never say anything negative about them. Yeah, no. And the only time they do, the only time I hear objective criticism is like when someone will try to get real technical with the design of like a vehicle in comparison with the real world version, and it's like these things
you can't do that.
They're not supposed to be. I mean, yeah, they're inspired by. They're not supposed to be 100% real, but you know, that's where they get technical and say the objective plus, the objective, you know, minus. But it needs to be like that all across the board. That's what we try to do, and I mean, I'm not changing that, whether or not people like it or
there's
whatever.
There's a lot of ignorant fans of G.I. Joe that base everything off of real world and expect it to be real world. And then when they're told, yo, bro, do you literally see any of these designs in the real world?
Yeah.
Majority of them, no.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see a guy like Crazy Legs in the real world run around with fucking gray and red and, hey, basically pointing a target saying, shoot here. Here's this big red helmet. You know, you don't see a guy like fucking who's it? Let's just see who's ridiculous here. Skymate, perfect example.
Ooh.
The guy with a fucking boomerang.
Ooh.
Really?
Ooh.
A glider in a fucking boomerang,
Ooh.
and he's wearing a red hat and a yellow tactical vest, and a green shirt.
Or
Might as well just fucking have him wear a Christmas tree, for Christ's sake.
Or Raptor.
Oh my God, Raptor! Like, what are we doing?
Raptor's in the wrong franchise, man. He looks like he was taking over for Vulture and Spider-Man or something, and his name doesn't.
A pro wrestler.
Yeah, exactly.
From the late '80s,
and his name doesn't match the design. I mean, like, there's things to criticize for sure. I mean, like,
he reminds me of Damien Demento.
I remember him. Yeah, I remember that dude.
Someone's Googling Damien Demento and they're like, oh shit.
Yeah, yeah. It's just weird. And I'm not, whenever we're pointing out the stuff, and I guess that's the other misconception, is that you can be objective and not hate the thing because you had something negative to say about it. You know, like you can have, like a toy can be objectively not perfect or not do exactly what they told you it does and still be fun. And I try to point this out all the time. I'm like, this is just, the thing in my hand does not do all the things that the package says it does. That's the objective part, you know? And a lot of people misunderstand that, and they think that means, you know, you said it's not great. No, I said this part of the figure is not great. I didn't say the whole figure sucks. Now, there are times where figures like Locke from McFarlane sucks. Like, he's good for standing still, perfectly still, vanilla pose. He can barely two-hand his rifle. Like, he sucks.
Yeah, he's more like this with the
you need to put two rifles in his hands. Put two big-ass rifles in his hands and just have him stand there. That's it. That's it. Objectively, that's what the figure can do. I'm not making this up. It's not my opinion. This is what he does. But does he look amazing? Hell yeah. The sculpts, the paint, everything else is on point. He just can't do shit, you know? It's just one of those things, and I wish people would get that more, because we have so many showcase channels, but not a lot of actual reviewers. They're showcasing toys and under the guise of a review. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. You bought it. We all buy this shit now. We're all home. We all like action figures. We all bought it. You didn't do anything special, but somehow you got 100 and something thousand fucking subscribers, and other people who actually sit down and review the shit have like a couple hundred. And I'm like, how does that make sense? Because you did it first. You know what I mean? They got theirs up first, and that other person who reviews their stuff, they got theirs up second, third, maybe 100th in the world. I don't know. It's just, I feel like the way
there should be there. It's almost like there should be categories for each reviewer, and they should be separated in categories. Like, your objective reviews are here, your subjective reviews are here, your showcases are here, your, I don't know, podcasts are here. Like, separate all of that. I mean, I know that would be like a big thing to do, but like, that's how I kind of delegate who I subscribe to.
Yeah, same here. I don't like I'm not big on unboxings. So like, if people do a shit ton of unboxings or hauls, then I'm not watching. Like,
or reaction channels.
Yeah, I hate reaction channels. Hate them. Like, if you're reviewing a thing, review it. Give us your reaction in the review. But like, if it's purely just the reaction, get the fuck out of here. Because most of the time it's exaggerated. I don't need to see
you going like this the whole time.
Or crying.
Oh my God, you believe that just happened?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I think this is going to happen next.
Oh man.
My God.
And inevitably watch. We're going to get people in the comments that are going to be like, you know, it's sad that you guys are shitting on other people, and it's like, we're not shitting on them. We're telling you what we like as individuals.
This is what we've witnessed.
Yeah.
We're giving you what we've witnessed and what we've taken from that witnessing.
Yeah. It's true.
It's a lot of it's based on fact.
Yeah. I mean,
because that's what it is.
Yeah.
And people just don't like the truth because a lot of people are afraid of the truth because the truth fucking hurts, man.
Sometimes, yeah.
The truth fucking hurts.
It's true.
They can't take that shit.
Yeah, I've had a couple situations, like a couple vlogs and a couple channels I used to watch more frequently that I just had to stop because of their fucked up way of reporting what things that happen. Like, I watched a channel called Comics by Perch, and he's a comic book store owner, and he has a lot of connections to people in the industry, and he talks to them about what's going on casually and, you know, business, but a lot of times he gets a kind of like an inside look at how things work. And whenever anything having to do with class or race or you know, like social issues pop up, especially race, then he gets questionable, because you could tell, like, if the guy who did the wrongdoing is white, then he wants to make the situation feel less, because it's almost like he vicariously feels associated with what that guy did. And I'm like, no one in their right mind is gonna blame you for what some other white guy did, because you're you and you didn't do it and he did it.
Oh no!
So we would hate
one of those
him.
like apologist people that apologize for everything.
Well,
white person.
No, he
did.
doesn't apologize for him. He tries to play devil's advocate, and then like lessen the blow. And we're all like, you know, a bunch of us in the comments are just like, no, you can't do that. But most of his viewership is cool with it, because I think they agree with his perspective. And so, like, with the Punisher situation, he tried to say that, so, you know, Marvel switched up the Punisher's symbol and his backstory.
Logo, yeah.
Yeah, it's all bad. It's all bad. Like, for the reasoning for doing it is commendable, but the end result sucks ass. They should have stayed in the just development stage for a year or two more. They probably would have came up with something better. I think down the road somebody else will redesign that skull again, and it's going to be better than what we got now. But like,
sure,
the generic ass, like, let's take this guy who, you know, is a dark, edgy character and make him a fucking ninja again. Like, you've done that shit. They've done that shit so many times. It's fucking whack. But that's not
I didn't even know about that part.
Yeah, the hand is making him like something big in their universe.
No.
And I was like, why do you do that? Like, the whole angle is Japanese, because, you know, nothing's more badass than white guy with katana. So and I'm like, guys, you could do better. But, you know, forget that part. That's not even the issue. Where I took issue with Perch was when he said people only wear the Punisher skull because it looks fucking cool. There's not a whole bunch of people running around wearing the Punisher symbol and doing evil shit. And I was like, apparently you've been under a rock for all this time, because there's entire, you know, groups of active duty soldiers running around with that patch, inspired by Chris Kyle saying that when you see that fucking skull, it means we're gonna fucking kill you. There's cops putting that shit on their cars, their cop cars, squad cars, with the thin blue line, you know, the flag up like sideways with the thin blue line down the center. And we know what it means. We know exactly what it fucking means. And apparently Perch didn't. And he kept talking about it like, it's not that, it's just a cool symbol. I don't know where they're getting all this stuff. I'm like, dude, if you just Google Punisher symbol, you get all the shit I just mentioned. It's like the first couple picks will be police officers. You'll see the comic stuff, and then you'll also see the first live action shit you'll see. Among it is going to be cops and military with that shit on them. Now, were the specific cops that you see in those pictures the ones doing the bad shit? Nah, not necessarily, but I'm saying, like, we all know why it became a problem. This is why the creator of the Punisher spoke out in the first place. Are you saying, like, this guy's saying it like
homeboy had no reason to speak out because nothing wrong was happening. And I'm like, the fuck? Go do your research before you open your mouth and say some bullshit.
Yeah, I think it's a case of he didn't look into things first before
I think he from the way he was talking about it, I think he was being, intentionally ignorant on the for that case, because he felt bad because the crimes have been racially motivated, and the commonality with a lot of them is, amongst other things, that's there too. And he didn't want to acknowledge it. And I was just like, dude, you can't. He tried to say that in his store when he lived in a southwestern part of the U.S.
Well, hold on, let me ask this question first. Hold on one second. How is Marvel allowing the usage of their copy?
That's a good question.
How are they not suing police forces and the U.S. government for copyright infringement and trademark infringement?
I think, is it Marv Wolfman, I think? Let me see. I got to look up his name. But I think he was trying to sue for that. Because he was...
someone needs to sue for that, because that shouldn't be allowed, period.
Yeah, they didn't... Because he said they didn't... No one asked him. And they just went ahead and, did what they did. He was created by...
How is that legal?
Yeah, it's not. But I think there's 10%, there's at least 10% of a change, because they add flags and stuff to it to make him, make the symbol a little bit different. Jerry Conway, that's who it was. Jerry Conway was saying that, he didn't get any, no one asked him. They just did it. And I'm like, okay, so there's a number of things that are wrong with the usage of this symbol and the way they're using it. I mean, forget the fact that none of them seem to have read The Punisher and understand that, like, you don't want a guy like Frank Castle to actually be a thing, because that will be a big problem for a number of reasons. It shows, it's more of a showing that your system has failed.
Well, it's
like a cautionary tale almost.
It's just a bunch of fucking keg-standing dude bros going around doing this shit. That's all it is. A bunch of fucking meathead, air mouth breathing, Cro-Magnon idiots doing this shit. That's all that this dumb shit is, because they don't understand the lore. They don't even understand. They just say, "Oh, the Punisher kills people, so that's what I'm going to do."
Yep.
Like that's all they see it as, and it's a skull, so it's cool.
Yeah,
bro. Yeah. How many bitches have you fucked, bro?
Yeah, it's...
How much do you even lift, bro? Those guys.
Yeah.
Those are the guys.
Yeah.
They're idiots.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I mean, I get, like, a skull has a meaning, period, in warfare in general. I get it. And sure. I'm not trying to say, like, you should never use skulls because it all ties back to the Punisher and being, evil and racist. And no, that's not what I'm saying. But the logo itself, his specific logo, there's a specific meaning to it now that it's being used by... commando regiments and shit like that. Like,
sure, I don't mind the change. The change looks terrible.
The change does look bad. I'm not gonna lie.
It looks stupid.
It looks really bad.
It looks like the fucking, almost like the Hazard logo mixed in with the Punisher logo. It looks like shit.
Yeah, it's bad. It's pretty bad.
What was it, like no, it's not the Hazard logo. It's like the Anthrax logo or some shit.
For who? Called? For the Punisher? The Biohazard logo?
The Punisher. Yeah, Biohazard logo.
It kind of looks like that. You're right. The way the horns kind of... It's just bad.
It looks like it's like the Punisher logo had sex with a goat and a fucking...
It just needs more time. It looks so... It doesn't look good. And then, like, the story is so half-baked. Like, you just now are going to be like, okay, let's take this soldier and make him a ninja. Like, come on. Like, you could do so many other things.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, true. Very true.
That's some dumb shit G.I. Joe would do.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, it's
We're going to take Duke, and now he's a ninja. He actually was Snake Eyes' older brother the whole time. We just didn't know. But now he's a ninja, and he's going to hold 17 katanas at once on his body while he runs around and fights people.
Yeah.
You know, that's how they do G.I. Joe. And then he's the ultimate of coolness, man.
Yeah.
You know how that goes?
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. But yeah, that frustrated me. It frustrated me a lot because it's like, you know, it goes back to what I was talking about. Like, comics and stuff shouldn't always be political, but there are certain characters that just happen to be, just by their existence, it's a commentary, you know? And so you got to be careful with either embracing one thing or how you, because like I love the Punisher, don't get me wrong. The stories, the good stories of the Punisher are like pretty dope. They're, some of them are deep, some of them are like just crazy because there's so much dark humor in it, and then some of them, the overarching thing is just fucked up and you're like, man, that either it sucks or it's something you wish never happened, but unfortunately it does. You know what I mean? Some of this stuff, not the him fighting supervillains and shit, you know what I mean, with guns and stuff, but
you mean you don't like Cosmic Ghost Rider? You mean you don't like that?
Oh my god.
Don't you have like 3 of those Cosmic Ghost Rider figures? I think I've seen them.
Yeah, right. Oh my god. Yeah,
You mean you don't like Frankencastle? Come on.
Oh god. Ooh, that was bad. Man, and it's weird because there's been a lot of bad takes of the Punisher. Like, you remember in I think it was like the late 90s or early 2000s when Dreamwave did that weird undead version of him that had the weird glowing guns. He had like a symbol in his forehead and like these weird glowing.
No,
you don't remember that?
This.
No. I think Pat Lee drew it. I'll send you a picture of it.
It sounds awful.
It was bad. It was bad. I don't remember if he was
like, how do people allow? How does this get through?
Money.
People?
Money. It's always money.
To be had with that.
It's always money, man.
I feel like people just take, okay, well, it works for Spider-Man and it works for Deadpool, so let's apply it to everyone. And it'll work for Batman, so let's apply it to everyone.
Yeah, it's ugh. Yeah, I mean, that's ultimately how it goes. It's money. It's always what will make the most money, or like, does it sound lucrative? If you think about it,
sound lucrative.
Well,
it sounds awful.
To the big wigs, it does, because they don't have the imagination to come up with original shit, so they have no stick by which to measure any of this shit, which is frustrating.
I feel like CEOs, because they're called big wigs, they should have to actually wear wigs. Once you become a CEO, you have to wear a wig.
Oh my god!
And the public gets to choose which wig you wear. We have to vote on it. It's a votable thing.
That'll be jacked up.
You're a publicly traded company. You are owned by other people, a group of other people that own shares. The people that own shares into a company should choose what wigs the big wigs get to wear. That's the new rule. Just came up with it now.
Yeah.
New system.
Good luck with that one. Good luck. I know they won't do it. So it was.
They might.
It was written by. So the art was by Pat Lee, and the book. There was a team up with him and Wolverine. It was a Marvel Knights version of him. It was bad. It was bad. I remember seeing the artwork.
Hey, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, then I know it's a duck. Trust me.
It was oof. It was bad. It was bad. I'm gonna show you this cover. Ooh, it was painful. It was painful. I was just like, why is there a need for this? You don't need to do this. But they felt the need to do it.
A need for speed.
It was tough. I was like, ooh, why would you go there? But anyway, yeah, that thing, the whole lack of objectivity frustrates me. Because, yeah, you can comment on a thing, but you have to call a spade a spade. Otherwise, all you're doing is letting people know that a thing exists, and you're not really giving a realistic perspective on anything. But
yeah, exactly. We don't like to give realistic perspectives. We just want to say, "Oh,
things exist.
Give me the bare minimum, and I'll just roll with it.
But
There's a lot of people that just accept the bare minimum nowadays.
yeah, it's ugh. God, this is worse than I remember. Shit, no disrespect to
Oh God.
disrespect to Pat Lee, but Jesus, yeah, that's
Disrespect to Pat Lee.
this was not good. I mean, I know it wasn't his idea. He's just the one drawing it, but whew, it's pretty.
Yeah, well, I mean, he can refuse to draw it.
That's true, but you want to get paid. You know how it is. We got.
Yeah, but you want to have a soul too.
No, they've said one of the jobs where, you know, if you're gonna keep working, you just take it. You don't really give
that's
them.
a great corporate mentality to have.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can't help it because of the fact that, you know, you want to keep working. And I've noticed a lot of times with artists, I mean, that's kind of what we're kind of taught to just, that's what they consider being humble. Just don't have a standard, you know, and it's just like, oh, come on.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at things.
Well, it's easy for the company, not for you,
sure.
but the company.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just keep sticking it in further. Stick it in further and twist it, you know?
Ew, twist it. That's wrong.
Stick it in further while it's throbbing and twist it.
That's so wrong.
I didn't say what it was. Okay, could have been a toothbrush entering the mouth.
Wow, that's also wrong. Shit. Ugh. Ugh. Wow.
Twist it.
So what else?
What?
What else have you? Because I know you mentioned another. There was something else you wanted to. Oh, Black Series, right?
Hold on. Oh yeah, that's. Yeah, it looks like he's got a big yellow zit on his head forehead.
Yeah, that weird glowing glyph or whatever had something to do with his powers. I can't remember. I remember one of my friends.
Just stop giving people that don't need powers, people.
Yeah, it was weird.
Can we just stop with it? It's just
I can't remember if he was fighting demons or angels. Or it was something weird like that, and it was just it didn't fit with the Punisher's typical thing.
Yeah,
but you could.
He's a low-level character. Let's just get past that and just move on.
I'm surprised they didn't just do a final Punisher story. You know what I mean? Like, do a final, like a send-off, and then just stop. And then reprint old issues if you want to keep making money off of them. That's the problem with Marvel and DC, is that the characters are never going to stop because they're a brand.
Well, that's why comics is... We don't read... I don't even read... Like, there's no stakes in comics anymore. It's just... Oh, it's an alternate reality, so everyone's probably going to die that I, somewhat care about, but because they're not the canon version, I don't give a shit that everyone dies. You know what I mean? It's like, that stuff used to mean something back when it first started, when the concept was first given to us, like Crisis and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now it doesn't mean anything.
Yep.
It's just, okay, they're doing it again. Nobody, why do I even want to put the time in, waste my time and money to even read this?
Yeah, it's true.
If it doesn't hold any stakes. That's like the one thing I'll give Star Wars, is that they stick to their guns. When someone's dead, that motherfucker is dead. He is not coming back.
Kinda, sorta. I mean, Boba Fett is the perfect example. That motherfucker was dead. And they were like, hey, let's build lore because people believe he shouldn't have died. And they built lore around that idea.
You look at Vader's dead. He's not coming back.
Yeah.
He hasn't come back in any way, shape, or form.
I think it's only a matter of time, if we're being honest. Now is going to be the test for how full of shit I really am, because when they see the new Astronomer, what are they going to say? Are they going to say
the old one sucks?
The old one is garbage and the new one's way better? Like, yeah, tell me. Like, I can't wait. What do you think? You have them both?
Yeah, I got them.
Yeah. I was like, yeah.
It's night and day.
Yeah.
But you could tell the old one sucked. I mean, she's chilling on my shelf, and I just have to turn her around.
Look at this. Is how I had her. This is how I had her displayed.
The wall.
This is how she was displayed on my shelf.
Yeah.
Sitting down Indian style, sad as fuck. Just sad. I had her holding the staff up, and she's like bowing her head, like, "Fuck, man, I failed."
Just
like
look
that.
down at the ground, put your dunce cap on. Look what you did.
I should make a dunce cap for her.
Yeah, you should put a little
But-
dunce cap on her.
What I'm gonna do, because the body that she has is still not legit, I think like her legs could be so much better. I'm gonna take the legs from this
Yeah, they're
Shuri.
too skinny. Her
Yeah.
legs are too skinny.
Because the actress had some legs on her, and this
Yeah.
body doesn't do her justice. And like,
Oh, the
she's-
actress is hot. Yeah.
yeah, and she's supposed to be wearing like pants, like they flare out at the bottoms, and these don't. So I'm like, if it's gonna be like that, then I'm gonna make at least the thighs a little bit bigger until I can figure out what to do about those pants. But yeah, night and day difference. Night and day difference. I was like, man, I can't wait to hear the bullshit these motherfuckers have to say about this. I can't wait. Because you know they're going to say it. They're going to say, they're going to point out how much better this one looks than the old one, yet they said the old one was perfect. And the old one had no likeness. None whatsoever.
None. It looked like a fucking, like, I don't know.
It just, it looked like,
goddamn clown.
it looked like a regular chick cosplaying with too much makeup on. That's what it looked like too much rouge or whatever that is on her cheeks. Like she just didn't look. I mean,
the blush or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, like the parts were there for the costume, but the face was way off. It just didn't look right. This one, it's not perfect, of course, but it looks closer to the attitude of the actress, and her face shape looks like the face of the actress. You know, like somebody knew they fucked up the first time. It just amazed me that
still
yeah,
this is the highlight of the
oh yeah, I got him.
my friend.
I've had him fighting Andros all this time.
Shit, he's so awesome.
Yeah, like I had
by
these
far
two.
the best, my favorite. I want to say my favorite villain.
Yeah,
out of pretty much out of any season. I think he's the best.
Yeah, he was good. He was really good. He actually could fight him. He had nuance to him because he wasn't bad just for the sake of being bad.
Exactly.
You know,
he had depth. Like you didn't know if he was going to be, help them or, hurt them. He had no idea what was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, he was cool. There's a couple other characters from that time period, like from Space. Darkonda was awesome. I wish they'd make a toy of him. What's the other guy's name? Deviat was cool too. He came later. I think he came towards the end of Space. And then what was the guy's name in Lost Galaxy with all the zippers everywhere? He trained.
Oh shit!
You know what I'm talking about? He pulled swords out of anywhere, pretty much. Like he was dope.
Fuck, I can't think of his name. I don't have my fucking iPad up here.
Yeah, I can't think of his name either. He was dope. I'd love a toy of him.
What's her name from Lost Galaxy 2?
Who, Trakina?
Yeah.
Yeah, she'd be cool.
Yeah.
She'd be cool. Both versions. Both versions of her. The gross, bug version.
Yeah, the gross version should come with, like, when he's got the super suit on.
Yeah.
And he blows her the hell up.
Yeah. That shit was awesome, man. I loved it. Loved it. Yeah, I was impressed with this, though. I got to give them their props. They did a good job. Anyone who says otherwise, which we're going to see it. They don't know what they're talking about. Like,
it's not that great.
There's nothing wrong with him. His articulation, Ecliptor's articulation is perfect. It's like they just looked at the suit and were like, what? Let's replicate the suit.
Spider-Man jealous and shit.
Yeah, with the splits and shit. Yeah, like, yeah, he's a bulky ass figure that can move like a real fighter, which is fucking nuts. Yeah, I was surprised. They're gonna do every version. They're gonna do the cybernetic version with the cyborg arm and the crap on the side of his face. They're probably gonna do the red one before we know it. I mean, I don't care. It looks good.
I don't care. I'll take it.
Yeah, it looks good. It's a good attempt at this figure, especially since nobody seems to have felt the need to make that character. You know what I mean? Like, Figure Arts didn't do it. Yeah, no one's done it, which is bullshit.
If Figure Arts started doing more monsters and shit and actual villains, like, they'd sell those like crazy.
Yeah, his name is Villamax. That's his name.
Villamax. Oh wait, who's the other guy? Like from SPD, the villain, with the fucking, he looks like a
Like a broke ass Skeletor. That's what you're talking about.
No, the dude with like the cybernetic on his face, and he's got a goatee and long black hair. And...
Oh, that's from Time Force. Ugh.
Time Force, that's right.
You're talking about
I'm mixing shit up.
Yeah, that's Vernon Wells under there. That's
Orson Welles, what?
No, Vernon Wells.
I know.
Yeah, he's big in like B movies and shit. Like he's been in B movies. Like if you go through the 80s, shit, he was in I think it's him. He was in Mad Max. That's what he's famous for.
I think so. Yeah, because he's Australian.
Yeah. Vernon Wells was. Let's see. Yeah, he's been in a lot of.
What was his name? What was the villain's name? He was a pretty decent villain too.
I don't know.
He didn't give one shit.
He didn't give a shit, but he was cheesy as fuck. I was like, good God.
Oh, they're all cheesy.
Like he was even. That's saying something when you're cheesy for Power Rangers. Like that's Rancic.
Yeah.
That was his name, Rancic.
Rancic.
Ugh. God, it was so bad. I hated Time Force through and through. From the fucking robot that beats the fucking time ship into the portal, like he slaps the ship into.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here with that lame ass shit. Yeah, he like swings his like.
Get out there and be somebody.
I know. Fly, baby, fly. That shit was terrible. Oh God. The only thing I give him props for is that what was her name? Katie, I think. No, her name wasn't Katie. Her name was Jen. Jen was hardcore. And
she was the leader. She was the real leader.
She should have been a red. They should have just made her red. Let her, in America, they should have made her the Red Ranger. Because the other dude was lame. Wes, he was
It was I mean, there's certain aspects about Wes that he has growth as a character. Like
he does, but
douche.
He's still a douche, and I didn't like it.
He tries his hardest to be the opposite of a douche,
yeah.
which is good.
I did like him.
His wealth for other means, I guess, especially towards like the end.
Yeah.
They should have. You're right. They should have made her the red, and then him the other. What was it? The
Quantum Ranger.
Crimson,
or no, he should have been.
Ranger.
I feel like he should have just been like swap the colors around, make him blue or something, and then like maybe get rid of the Pink Ranger on that team. Swap him around, and because the other dude was cool too. He's the perfect foil for him. What was his name?
He could have
Eric?
went the Bret Hart route and went pink and black.
Yeah.
Attack his back.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have done that. That's how they would do in the comics now. They would come up with a way to make him pink anyway. But like he the rich pretty boy, like, ugh, get out of here. You can't save the world. Like, damn well you're too busy worrying about yourself and how you come out on these situations to like actually be I get it. The plot point was that he was supposed to grow into a full human being because he met these other people that kind of inspired that out of him. But like he still feels like a fucking twat rag when you fit by the end of the series. I was just like, he just doesn't.
But he ends up becoming a good dude.
Yeah, I know. It's just I think it's more the actor.
He's like I want to say he's got that.
He's got a punchable. He's got a punchable face.
You want to slap the shit out of him a little bit.
Yeah.
But the actor that actually plays him is actually a really good dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is.
Nice guy. And so it's like I want to slap the shit out of him, but then again I don't because I know the actual actor is a nice guy.
Yeah,
so,
no, I'm just purely talking about the in the show. In the show, he feels like such a fucking twat, fucking douche canoe, and it's just like.
But I think that was like kind of the point, though. They want you to want to slap the shit out of him and get your shit together and stop being a douche, and that's kind of what happens. And that's the kind of growth of his character. That he has pretty much a thing with Jen. So
yeah, because he looks like her husband. Her not dead husband.
Yes, that was stupid. Yeah. I wasn't a big. No. Like a clone, like a straight up clone of her husband. Just a different haircut.
I was like, nope, I'm not buying it. I think they could make Rancic look more imposing as an action figure because they could change his they could add bulk to make him look bigger and kind of scarier when they get there. I just think
he needs to look like fucking Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
he needs to look like.
Yeah, he needs to look tougher. He just doesn't. To me, he just doesn't look. He doesn't like he used to when he was younger. He looked the part. Don't get me wrong, but as he got older, it's like he. I don't think he was like as into weightlifting as he might have been back in the day, because he didn't. He doesn't look as crazy, and he just. I don't know the direction. Is
he the same? Hold on. Is he the same guy that was the villain
in Commando?
Fucking Commando.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's why he always looked familiar, and I'm like,
yeah,
that's who he is. All right. Now I'm getting it.
Yeah, that's him.
Now I'm getting it.
Now
I want to figure out him even more. Just so I can have Arnold throw a fucking pipe through his chest.
All right, let off some steam, Bennett.
Let off some steam.
Bennett. Yeah, man. I love that movie. I want a whole fucking Commando toy line. I would be so happy with that shit.
Oh, man.
Give us everybody. Give us a fucking Alyssa Milano figure. Even if she's a kid, I don't care. Just the idea that we know who she grows up to be is fucking hilarious. And like, freaking give us all the different versions of Arnold. Give us fucking Raydon Chong. Give us fucking Sully. So we can kill him first.
And for God's sake, give us a goddamn Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan or Bill Duke. We could get him too. Yeah, we need all those stereo.
We need Jesse to sign on too. Come on now.
Yeah, it'd be dope. It'd be dope. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't do that with the Predator line. They didn't make all of the supporting cast. That would have been nice.
They made fucking what's his
Shane
name?
Black. Shane Black.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Was he Hawkins? I think his name was, right?
Hawkins.
Yeah. They made him.
He gets early.
Yeah, he gets killed real quick. But yeah, I never understood why they didn't make all the characters. I mean, I know it's probably a licensing thing, like they didn't have the rights to the likenesses of everybody.
But they did for fucking. They made an Apollo movie. Fucking.
That's what I was saying way back when, because a lot of people.
Well, how do you get away with that?
Yeah, people who made customs, they use that figure. So yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
It doesn't make sense. And I'm sure Carl Weathers would be down with it because he's like, yeah, I'm Grief Karga and I'm fucking Apollo. I'll fucking sign the dotted line. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know why anyone would be against that stuff. I mean, shit, even Sigourney Weaver gave up her license or her likeness.
I know.
And she's totally against that shit. Her likeness wasn't even in the original toy line. And that was at the height of... Huh?
Do you know what toy will sell like crazy if he ever decides to allow a toy of himself?
Who?
Tom Cruise, guarantee it.
It'll
sell like crazy.
Oh, he's also against that. I forgot.
He has never had a toy. Look up all the Mission Impossible toys, and they look nothing like him.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
And they never did
not fucking sign a deal.
They never did Top Gun, like official Top Gun figures.
Nope.
They always do them in their gear. Yeah, That's crazy.
Yeah, it's because that crazy Scientology shit, man. That's all fucked up.
Yeah.
Crazy Scientologist people. Fucking cult.
Yeah, man. But yeah, there's quite a few Black Series figures. I'm still kind of frustrated with the Lightning collection that I'm frustrated with because like in a very ingenious kind of way, they're completing teams, but if they're gonna do it where Mighty Morphin is the first to be completed and then Zeo is the next and then do them in order and that's fine. But how did you finish Dino Thunder before you finished?
That's not done yet.
They did. Didn't they do the yellow?
No, there's like fucking 8 Dino Thunders.
No, that's Dino ridiculous. Charge. I'm talking about Dino Thunder, the 3-person team. They did.
No, they don't have the Yellow Ranger yet.
Okay, that's what I was just about to ask. Yeah. Did they do a Yellow Ranger yet? They're almost done with them, but they haven't finished the most recent show. Like they didn't finish Beast Morphers. There's only 4 of them, right? 5 of them. But there's 3.
They still have not given us the yellow.
There's no yellow, but they did silver and gold. Like what the fuck? Or like What was the other team? Like they did SPD. They've done everyone except for Z. Why? What are they waiting for?
That's weird.
We got Doggy Kruger before we got Z. I'm like, what the fuck are you waiting for? Like, just make.
Thank God we did.
I love the figure.
Before.
But I want the core people before you start digging into like the sixth member. You know what I mean? Like they did the Omega Ranger before they did the Blue Ranger or the green or the pink or the yellow. Like what the fuck? Like slow down.
I don't understand the thought process behind it. Like to me, a red should be in each wave. You always put a red in each wave. That just you have to. You fucking have to.
And there's enough of them.
You do. Then once you get, I think, past your third one, you put the sixth Ranger in. You start feeding those in there. Mm-hmm. But you got to get the core 3 in there first.
Yeah, I agree.
And then work your way through, and then just make all the fucking monsters, unless they're like Ecliptor size, like deluxe.
Yeah.
That's all that needs to be done.
Yeah, I agree. It's weird. I don't know that I agree with the deluxe for all the monsters because nobody really watches the show. Not for all the monsters, but nobody. I know few people who are into the series because of the cheesy monster designs. And there were certain seasons where the designs were really good. Like Lost Galaxy had some amazing monster designs. So did SPD had some cool ones too. Lost Galaxy, not Lost Galaxy. I'm sorry, I already said them. What was the other one that had some like techno organic designs to them? I mean, there's seasons where they did a good job with them. Oh, Mystic Force had some really cool demonic bad guys, but like I hate that show with a passion.
I think it's going to be a while before.
Yeah, I know.
We get a Red Ranger of that.
Yeah,
guys.
Oof, that show. Oof.
But if they're going to do Wild Force, then you got to do fucking Mystic Force then.
I know they're going to do everything if they can. It's just I think certain series had like Geki Ranger. That was the one that was adapted into Jungle Fury. Had some cool monsters. Because the monsters were all based on like it would be like a monster and like some martial arts reference, like a kung fu movie reference, and they'd mix them together. That's cool. But like some of the other series, like fucking Pumpkin Rapper, no one was asking for a fucking figure of Pumpkin Rapper, and they made it a deluxe, and that shit peg warmed for a long. It's still peg warming at my Target. Still, it might even be on clearance if I remember correctly, but no one wants it. There's like tons of them just sitting there. Same thing with what was the other guy? The pig. God, what was he called? You know what I'm talking about? The pig that had the big helmet, the big Legionnaire.
Yeah, he just came out, I think.
Yeah, he came out like a month or two ago. Yeah, he looked. Yeah, he was a lame character and a lame design, and they made him a deluxe figure.
And he got murked in one episode.
Yeah,
like, I don't know. It should be. They should be focusing on the core major villains first, and then trickle in the monster of the week shit.
Well, like I think with each show, if we're being fair, just do the major reoccurring villains and forget
that's what I'm saying.
Forget the week because that's the format of the show is Freak of the Week. Just do the Rita and her goons for Mighty Morphin, then do the Zed and his goons for the ninja seasons or whatever. Then do the ones for what was his name for Zeo. The Cog Empire. Remember, it was like there was a king, there was his son, and there was his daughter.
And then there was what's her name for Zeo? Or Turbo? No, it was Turbo.
It was Turbo. Yeah, you're talking about Divatox. Yeah.
Divatox. Yeah.
Like each season has like a core set of villains. That's what you focus on. Don't there's no reason why we got Pumpkin Rapper and fucking King Sphinx and all those others. Like you don't need to do them. Because
they're only doing Mighty Morphin fucking people.
Yeah, so far.
That's the monsters that they're doing because they don't think the other ones can sell. And I'm like, that's complete horseshit.
Yeah. Some of the ninja series,
the people that are buying this line are not fucking 10-year-olds.
Yeah, exactly.
There are people that have watched every single fucking season and know.
Yeah. Or at least close.
At
It's
least
a very niche line. Like, it's not like Power Rangers was big in the '90s. It's not what it used to be. Like, it's
yeah. Well, over here, yeah, in the U.S., yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely lost popularity over the years, but in Japan, it never slowed down. In Japan, it's still going. It's been going for a long ass time. It's been going since the fucking 60s.
Sure.
So 60s,
60s,
70s,
yeah.
something like that. It's been around forever. So it's like I even want them to dip in and do some of the Japanese figures that they missed, like
sure.
fucking
They should.
do
Now, if they could only get Kamen Rider,
yeah, I know, right? I don't want them to fuck
would you
with that
collect
shit.
that?
Oh yeah, I mean I love Kamen Rider, so yeah, it'd be nice. There'd be ones that
I don't think that'll ever happen.
yeah, because it's too dark and they can't introduce figures that don't like they don't number one they don't have the rights, but they can't do figures of series that they can't push in the West. Because you remember there was that period of time in the 90s where they did Shin Kamen Rider. He's the one that turns into a physical grasshopper dude with the fucked up transformation. You know what I'm talking about? With his the eye
Yep.
opens up in his head and shit. Then there was Jay and Zoe. And those were like I know Jay was more family friendly, I guess, in comparison to the others, but it still was too hardcore for the audience here. You know, the kids audience they're trying to get. The 4Kids network audience. This shit wasn't for them. So yeah, but it would be nice because there's so many figures that they just didn't do. There's so many Kamen Rider that like I mean they've done almost all of them in some way, shape, or form, but there's so many of them that need a revamp, like a better figure that they just haven't gone back and done. So, you know, and that line that Bandai was doing called it was like the renewal line. It's like SS is what the shortened form for it. It was a really long name. I did the review for the SS version of Skull. It's the only renewal version I got. And those figures are so expensive. So fucking expensive. I'm like, there's no way. And they're revisiting older ones, but not for that price.
Well,
There's
now
no way.
with especially figure arts are like basically $100 figures every time.
Every time.
So they're not obtainable to me anymore. Like I'm past that point where I was like, yeah, well maybe I'll get into it. Nope, not anymore.
Well, if you buy them in the U.S., yeah, from like Big Bad Toy Store, yeah, forget about it. If you buy them from the Japanese like retailers, you might still be able to find them for $50-$60. Not for long, but like close to the
Well, and
release.
I just don't feel like I don't have the energy to fight for them, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
So I just don't even bother. I'm just like, yeah, I give up. I throw in the towel for this one.
Yeah. I'm the
I
same
give
way.
up.
I'm the same way. I gave up on them. I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. But yeah, the freaking Andros and all I have for space is Andros, Ecliptor, and Astronema, both versions of Astronema, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm cool with that. If they do like, I don't know, one other villain or something from there, I'd be down with it. I might even get Zane just to have the two, you know, him and his partner. But yeah, I'm kind of done after that with space. I don't.
What if they make a kid Omega Defender?
Oh,
You know
Magna
you're gonna
Defender,
get that.
his son. Yeah, maybe I would get something like that.
You know, I know you would,
Yeah.
and I know why.
Yeah,
you
it's
would.
my favorite character, favorite of all of freaking.
Oh, and it's
you know.
little Nico.
Yeah, exactly.
You and little Nico. You
Yeah.
got to get little Nico.
Yeah, it'd be perfect. It'd be perfect. Yeah, I was talking about that the other day, man. Like that character, I'm surprised that we got him so early in the line. You know, like
Yeah,
Space was
that
like,
was a good surprise.
yeah, I was happy with it. I'm not complaining. I'm just surprised. I thought for sure he would be something down the road because freaking Figure Arts skipped a whole bunch of shit, you know, and they could have just done them. They skipped everybody from, they did Mighty Morphin, they did the Reds from a couple other series, and then they skipped right to like SPD. And actually before SPD they did, or was it after? They did the Pirates, Captain Marvelous and all of them.
Oh yeah, those are terrible. Those seasons.
Well, in the U.S. they were horrible. The Japanese ones were pretty
Yeah.
good.
I still can't believe how bad they were, though. We were talking about that. Me and Nico were talking about that the other day.
I just don't like the whole pirate thing. I just
Well, because in America it doesn't mean anything. In Japan, they're actual space pirates. Like it's a
I know, but it's the pirate theme in general. I'm just like,
oh, when you see, if you get a chance and you watch the Japanese series, it'll get you, because their motif makes sense, because essentially they steal the Ranger keys. That's the treasure that they're trying to find that allow them to transform into all the other Rangers up to that point. So, like, they have these special keys that plug into their morpher, and then they can use the powers.
They're like Decade?
Kind of, sort of. Yeah, they came out the same time as Decade. Yeah, that was exactly what it was. They were an anniversary team. So it was like a celebration of the whole of Super Sentai. Just like Decade was, celebration of all the Kamen Riders up to that point. So, yeah, the way it works in the context of the show is dope, because other characters are like space police characters fight them, and they're like, yeah, no, you shouldn't be stealing shit. And then when they explain what they're trying to do and why they're doing what they do, then you're like, okay, I get it. And they usually have a team up, and I don't know, it was fun. It's the US version that just didn't know what the fuck to do with it, and they just completely shat the bed with boring ass bland characters and just not.
And the actors were awful.
Oh, they were awful.
They were horrible.
Fucking wooden ass Troy. Fucking worst, man. I was like,
what
wow.
What do you mean he's coming to Earth? We better go. Now? I'm like, what? Is this a fucking, like, SNL skit?
I know, we're fucking Red Letter Media making fun of Power Rangers and shit. Yeah, it was bad. Oh, it was bad.
Did someone pay this kid to tank the fucking show?
It was terrible. Terrible. Yeah, it was funny because when Nico was little, he used to, smaller, he used to watch it because it was Power Rangers, and it had that effect on little kids. I was like, no, you shouldn't watch this one. Watch this one. So I showed him other ones, and he got amped. But then his friends, that their parents don't know any better, they would always bring, because that was the season that was, I think it was out when he was 1 or 2. Here's for your birthday, fucking Megaforce shit. And I'm like, God, this is terrible. Someone gave him a DVD of a bunch of episodes, so I had to sit through that shit for a good year. I was like, please, no more. Oh, it was bad.
My head hurts.
Yeah, it was so bad. Oh, so bad. But yeah, man, there's
that and what was it, Overdrive?
Oh God, Operation Overdrive was terrible. Oh shit.
Talk about painful.
It was painful.
Eyeballs.
Yeah, the music was bad. The actors were terrible. Like, yeah, that was terrible. That's another one that in Japan, it was better because the shtick with that series was like, imagine a team. Imagine if Nathan Drake had a team, and they were like adventurers and shit, and then they also had those Power Ranger, suits and Zords and shit. Like, it was fun, but yeah, the American series was. Oh, fuck.
Oh, whack as fuck.
Oh, it was terrible.
Whack as fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. Because it's Hasbro that's handling it, like, even though I have to admit that the Lightning collection has some great sculpts and everything, it's their delivery system of the figures that frustrates me. Because, like, how do you make a Power Rangers in space and then you make a deluxe Blue Ranger that comes with his Galaxy Glider thing, the surfboard thing they fly on, but you don't make surfboards for the rest of the team?
Well, on top of that, they also released the Blue Ranger from In Space in a 2-pack.
Yeah.
So you're re-releasing the figure. What the fuck are you guys doing over there?
Yeah. I think he was that was SPD. He came in a 2-pack. But the
Blue Ranger, I got him. He's right there. TJ's chilling right there.
But didn't he come with his glider, right?
Here's his head. No, he didn't come with that. He comes out later this year. Here he is. Here's his head.
No, what I'm saying is that figure in his pack, his $40 pack, he's released with his glider, not a figure.
He's also released in a 2-pack with another character.
He is?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Are you thinking SPD? Are you thinking SPD blue and then the A Squad blue?
No, because I have the SPD blue one.
Okay.
I have that one too. He's right here. I'll show you.
Who did he come with? I haven't looked. Yeah, there's TJ. Who did he come with though?
He came with. Let me remember this. I'm pretty sure he came with blue. No, he came with the silver. Oh, he came with what's his face? The Silver Ranger when he's a Psycho Ranger. The Silver
Oh,
came
Psycho. Yeah, that makes sense.
So he's released twice in a deluxe version. Like I'm like, why are you guys doing that? Just release him with the glider or release him. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make it. What they should have done was just release everybody single carded and then just release a deluxe box set with just the gliders.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
As an accessory set.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
They're so against that.
They're so weird about that stuff.
Yeah, they're so against accessory sets. Hasbro won't do it for they won't do that.
Here's what's his face's head.
Yeah. I forgot all about that. That was a long time ago.
Yep.
I never picked that up. He probably goes for stupid money now because everything does. Oh wait, it's $35. I'm about to get it right now.
It's a good 2-pack.
I mean, yeah, because one of them is a figure we technically already have. Technically. Yeah, I might have to get that right about now because yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I did not know about that. I totally, I remember seeing it, but I think maybe I had seen each of them separate, and I didn't realize they were released in a 2-pack. But yeah, I'm probably...
Yeah, because I was like, I didn't know which one to pre-order. I was like, should I get the 2-pack? Because I do need Silver Psycho to finish the Psychos.
Yeah.
And then, even though he wasn't really a Psycho for...
yeah, it wasn't even... Really, he was pretending to be one. Yeah.
It was like the length of a fart. He was a Psycho. So.
Yeah, because it was a disguise. It wasn't him actually becoming evil or anything. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I might have to go in on Space because I wasn't planning on going in on Space. I really only wanted just Andros and Zane. But I might do that. I saw the Phantom Ranger.
King Ranger was just released too.
Yeah, I saw her at we saw her at Target the other day. And I was like, yeah, at first I was like, I don't really want to get her. And then now I'm sitting here thinking about it. I might end up picking up that figure. I want to get more putties, though. Jesus. I have one putty. That's it. Just one. I'm like, fuck.
Damn.
Yeah.
They got that 2-pack that's floating out around there.
Yeah, but
putties.
Aren't they, stupid expensive? From what I remember, they went for...
I don't remember. I don't know what they go for now. I know that they're kind of flooded the market with them after that. The whole putting them with the Green Ranger thing. Then they were like, okay, we realized we fucked up. We shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. Here's a 2-pack with regular putties.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that because, yeah, I would like to have...
I got, what was it? I have 2 Zed putties and then I have 4 regular putties.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I got 2 of the 2-packs.
Oh,
I got 2
yeah.
of the 2-packs. And then I got 1 of the... Well, I know I have 5... No, wait. I got 2 of the 2-packs or the... Oh, no, I got... Wait, what the fuck? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm about to have to...
Yeah, I got 2 of the 2-packs and then I got 2 of the Zeds. Yeah, that's right.
Gotcha. Yeah, I might have to... I'm going to have to look into that because... I would like to have some putties. I did watch the shit out of that show when I was a kid. So. I know, right? I would really like to jump in on that, man. That'd be nice. Because I was saying it would be good to jump in on that particular figure.
Oh, yeah, the blue in space.
Yeah, the in space team. Yeah, I need to find those guys. God, I really hate the way... I think that's part of why I haven't really looked at these lines, because the way that the collectors have handled this line frustrates the shit out of me. Like, the Black Ranger... So Little Strydent loves Dino Charge. And so Dino Charge Black came out, last year sometime or something like that. and he's like $80, $70. Like, what the fuck for? Because he's
Whoa,
wearing black.
Why?
I've seen him for 80. I've seen him for 60. I've seen him for 44. I see him for 55. Like, why? Why? Because he's wearing black now. So the only time that being black is a benefit is when you're a superhero. You get to wear a black costume, and then you're cool, and that you're gonna make people pay.
Wait, which one? Dino Charge?
Dino Charge Black. Yeah, he was the.
He goes for that much money now?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I googled it because I couldn't find him on Amazon. So I was like, let me check, and then I'm checking now, and I'm like, fuck, the first and the only entries for that figure from the Lightning collection, he's going for that price. I'm like, why the fuck? This doesn't make any sense. This is what I hate about every time I get into collecting. You know, like, I step out for a while, I come back, I get frustrated by the same shit. Because people just don't understand. Not everything is like a collector's item. You know, like, not everything is that rare. I mean, was he that much of a fan favorite?
Not really. It's not. I've not heard anything that's really garnished a crazy thing about him. That's just weird.
Yeah, but
That's very odd.
well, they did the same thing with Mighty Morphin Black from the movie figures from the Legacy collection. Mighty Morphin Black went for like $300, and I was like, wait a second.
That.
In a world where we have the Lightning collection, how does that make sense? What the fuck am I paying that for? Like, that doesn't make any natural fucking sense. But
I remember when even the Mighty Morphin Black SH figure arts went for insane prices.
all of them, yeah, all of them, the figure arts ones, all of them were stupid as far as prices go. All of them. I was just like, come on, guys.
Yeah, that's just weird that that Dino Charge. I mean, I know there's a lot of young people that like Dino Charge, but god
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, the show was fine. It's just the fact that the figures, it's like, what the fuck, really? I don't know.
It doesn't make sense.
But
That doesn't make any sense.
I see one for $35.33, but the shipping is $15. That shit should be illegal. I don't understand how that's allowed.
Well, they should just all eBay has to do is just go by your location. That's all they need to do. They're just being lazy and allowing these people to do this. You should not be allowed to determine shipping.
I've been charged extra because I didn't charge enough for shipping. Or, I'm sorry, yeah, the person, I gave them like blanket $4.99 priority mail, and then they were like, it should have cost, because of the size of the item, it should have cost more. I'm like, the post office didn't tell me that. So why does eBay get to do it, you know? But I don't know. It's jacked up. That's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down.
Sure.
But yeah, but I think we're